Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Man, I only do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good morning, Kevin Hastings along here with Terry Reinhardt, and, well, looks like Mr. Tiger's here.
Yeah, Mr. Tiger.
It looks like Mr. Banana Man is here. And I'm Kevin Hastings along with Texas Terry Reinhardt and John Prather's. He made it here. Good morning, JP. Good morning. Biscuit time. Biscuit time. Well, we're the only two that's made it here. So let's talk millennial sleeping habits, Terry.
Okay.
That's what you'll
That's a good way to start it.
Yeah, I text them boys early.
Well,
they just can't make it here, Ken.
they must be part of that 4 guys from Alabama that's going on to the NFL.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's probably about how they played, about like them 4 guys decided to go on.
We got to talk about a national championship today. Clemson and Alabama. My favorite part about it, Terry. What was the score?
44-16.
Okay. The day of Monday morning, you know what the spread was?
Well, I think I heard you in there saying it was like 60.5 or
60.5 moved down to like 59.5, 58, depending on who you bet it on before the game. So, it didn't matter that there was a blowout in Vegas. They still hit the spread. Funny how that happens, isn't it? Funny how that happens. I watched a few NFL games or fixed videos, and Terry, I ought to show you some of them. You just be like, my goodness, it would just amaze you seeing some of these things that go wrong or look kind of funny for the referee spotting balls like 2 yards, and he got some weird stuff online. You can kind of get down the rabbit hole in, but. You know, the NBA went through a lot of that.
They did.
Back in the few years, and I one of the videos I was watching, it was a Phillip Rivers video, and JP, turn your mic. You got something?
Yeah, I know my mic's on. I need to interrupt for just one moment. A woman called and said that WLON is off the air.
So you want to? Jesus. All right, JP. Go do something about it and don't interrupt me right here. So okay,
Sorry.
I want to announce to the radio that's not on the air. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. And so Terry, we've got NBA, NFL. Let's see, college football to talk about, high school basketball to talk about, and more here on KTC Broadcasting. Let's see if I can sneak in on one of these and fix JP's problem, but I don't know if he can do it back there or not. So, Terry, what we're going to do is get reorganized here as JP steps up, and then we'll get see if Hunter and Carson show up in the next minute. We're going to take a
here comes Hunter.
Oh, here comes Hunter. We're going to take a quick break.
He's daggum took after that Carson deal, but he made it. That's all I can say.
Did you get it fixed, JP?
Do I hit control room?
Just play a commercial, and we'll be right back.
Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a new 2019 Buick Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 4-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
All right, I think we got some of that settled up. We're ready to rock. Had to get some stuff settled, Terry. We were back in the house. Hunter's in the house. Tiger Man's still here. Breakfast time. I'm having a great egg and cheese biscuit. About halfway through it, but it's when you get one of these biscuits, they're so soft and such good biscuits. I've never had a burnt biscuit from them, Terry. Have you?
Never have. And I got a steak and egg biscuit. I think that's what Hunter's also got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
let's see if Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, Hunter. That's that's your
him.
buzz. We're gonna switch you off. Just switch your mic with Carson there for a second, and then we'll get him fixed if he shows up.
All right.
So we'll get that turned up.
JP,
Actually, hold on. Check that.
Mic check.
Yeah, you're good. It's Carson's that's messed up. Got it. So you're good, Hunter.
Talk, Mr. Tiger Man.
There you go. Talk. What do you got to say,
us
Hunter?
over there? That's the way the Rams are. They'll probably not show up tonight.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Terry's.
Is that game tonight?
Yeah.
That's the tonight game?
That's
Okay.
why. That's why.
That's right.
Terry says Carson's not showing up today.
Because he's scared.
He don't want.
He's scared.
He don't want to
He's
talk.
scared.
He's scared. That is a hot take.
Yeah.
That is a hot take.
Well, we're going to do our predictions in a little bit. Maybe if Carson does show up. So what we're going to have, I've got the board up and the picks, and Hunter just come in and looked. I've got my picks up. So what you see on the top of the board are the over-unders and the spreads for everybody. So a couple of news and notes for what you need to know about this weekend in particular. So last weekend on average in the NFL, and we're going to get to all this in just a little bit, on average in the NFL in weekend one, maybe that is this. You did something and just changed everything.
I have not touched it. I've not touched it.
You moved your biscuit, I think. And that's what did it. Let's adjust that for maybe you do need to get Carson's. Huh? There you go.
Oh my God.
I don't understand.
he's not even touched.
Just hold it there.
Don't move again. It's probably something to do with this wire, Hunter, and you're kicking it underneath you.
Am I?
Maybe.
Am I touching?
I don't know, but I'm going to hold it right here
All right,
for
you
right
just
now.
hold it right there, because that has fixed it for the moment.
If you watch it on YouTube, we got a little mess going on here, trying to get settled. Terry is ready for a Dale Earnhardt commercial anytime now. This Wrangler gear on. But anyway,
Yeah, he is.
Chargers. Looking at the board real quick. Here's how the weekend goes. First weekend, it's usually 50-50 split on the winners. The favorite. What I mean by that means the home teams win 50% of the games. Weekend two, though, 75% of the home teams usually win the games. Now, also in week two, there's always usually one upset, which is what I mean, 75%. But there's also one blowout that you never expect. So when you pick your board, you'll notice when I went through, I picked one blowout and one upset, and they can be in the same game.
Yeah.
So I mean that's up to you. But there's always one blowout, one upset, and then we'll look at that just a little bit
Well, the good thing for you, Kevin, is I agree with your upset. So that's kind of a.
Well, I bet Carson does.
They
too.
They don't know. But
I'm with it also.
the people who haven't seen the board yet or heard what we were going to say, but I agree with it. That's who I was going to pick in that game. When we get to that,
we might see that in just a little bit. All right. So we got college football, high school basketball is up and running. I was at a game last night. Saw alley-oop off the backboard. We had, and we're going to play for you guys in just a little bit. It was one of the best. You don't see these a lot at other places, but high school. I'm gonna call it a high school moment, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So last night at Burns, first of all, we're gonna talk about it. Man, we're gonna talk about first. That's a funny thing to mention. But anyway, so they got ready for the national anthem. You had the color guard come out. Well, the color guard comes out. It usually takes for a minute for them to come out. So me and Philip, we're on the broadcast. Well, the other American flag is right above our heads. So while the color guard's coming out, everybody at the gym's like staring at me and Philip. we're sitting right next to the PA system.
Yeah.
And so the color guard comes out and they go get ready for the national anthem. It's just quiet. And quiet. And quiet. And everybody's staring at us. A couple people start giggling. And I look at Philip and I looked over at the PA system. I was like, there's nobody at the PA system to play the national anthem.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought there was going to be somebody on the court singing because there was nobody over here. And everybody started looking around. All of a sudden, the Burns student section starts singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
So the whole gym sung it together, Terry, and it was a funny and good moment.
Things will happen.
Make sure you got to make sure everybody's in charge of where they're supposed to be.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. So that was funny that happened. So they sang the national anthem, and we got on to some basketball after that. Saw Kobe Pacehour last night. He had two offers this week on to play college football, Terry. And they're kind of local offers. One of them's local, or really local. The other was, you kind of call it local. But one of them is SEC school. Kobe Pacehour, sophomore, South Carolina.
I consider that local.
The other one is UNCC, who gave him the other offer. So there you go. There's Tiger Dockery. He's in the house tonight, or today, this morning. Close enough. So so last night at Burns, we had a 30-28 game at halftime. Kings Mountain was up by 2. Now, to describe how they got here, added together, the teams were 12 of 31 from the free throw line.
Ooh.
12 of – no, I said that wrong. They were 11 of 31 from the free throw line. So it was a bad night at the free throw line, Terry. Both coaches said they had a big, long talk about free throws at halftime and after the game. Talked to them both. Both coaches, great guys. No
lie. If I had been coaching, I would have been going ballistic.
It was bad.
Because I tell people all the time, if you're playing a basketball game, and I don't give a darn what kind of offense you run or whatever.
Yeah, you don't give a darn.
I do not.
No.
If you hit your layups, if you hit your free throws, and you play defense, you're in every game that you play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds like basketball.
It is. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you do those three things.
I try to
because the defense turns into layups on the other end or you get fouled.
Well,
you got to hit your free throws.
Burns was so good last night in pressuring Kings Mountain. And, I think both of you have seen Kings Mountain. When I say that, Burns has the speed on the court at pretty much all times to cover all of Kings Mountain's passing lanes and how quick they are. So when they pressed Kings Mountain, they did a good job. They missed a ton of free throws. Like I just said, they were. I can't remember the final numbers. Philip took the sheet home with him, but it was just miss. 21 combined free throws.
And how many front ends of 1-and-1s?
Probably a ton of those. We had both Pacehours fouled out. Eli got 2 technicals and it's tossed out. Really, not even fouled out. The first one, and they were kind of weird technicals. The first one he scored, and kids pumped up and they clap and excited. He was clapping and excited, but there was nobody around him. It was just right in front of the referee, and I don't know. I wasn't close enough to tell. He was on our sideline. I wasn't close to tell enough what he said. So maybe there was a cuss word or something in there, and the referee threw the T in there. Right. I don't know. I didn't get the report on it. So that was the first technical. The second technical was on the other end of the court, and Kobe was shooting free throws, and Eli. I'm gonna find your magic spot here in a minute. All right, there we go. Kobe was shooting free throws.
Do you want me to get some tape?
Yeah, in a minute.
We'll just tape
so
that
Eli
down.
Eli came over and when Kobe missed the free throw, one of the Burns kids got the rebound, and he put it in Eli's stomach or handed it to him. Well, Eli, instead of handing it to Kobe, the referee turned it and shoved it back into his stomach, and that was his second technical. So he was gone, and so so we got down to the fourth quarter. Luckily, Kings Mountain Zeke Lurejean got hot in the fourth quarter, catching an alley-oop off the backboard from Kobe Pacehour there in the game. So we did have a Jammin' Jays slam jam of the game. They missed every other dunk they attempted in the game, but they caught the one off the backboard. That's the only one that counts.
That's the only one. Style points.
Yeah, so that one's on YouTube, folks. You can go watch that. It's right at the, I think, hour 41 mark in the video. I went in and watched some of the replays last night. I want to thank Philip Russ and everything going. So, you guys talk about the games y'all were at real quick.
Oh yeah, I was at East Lincoln High School for East Lincoln versus Maiden, two of the top teams in that conference, the South Fork 2A. And from the get-go, it was not even close. I hate to say it, but it was a 25-point blowout for East Lincoln. I mean, at halftime, it was a 21-point lead. They have just too many playmakers for East Lincoln. Too many playmakers. If it's not Sidney Dollar, who everybody knows is a freak athlete that he is on the court. I mean, it's Bean, who is. He's just he reminds me of East Lincoln or of Golden State's Klay Thompson, how he is for East Lincoln. He's just catch and shoot. He stands on the perimeter, and they just work it around, and he's standing right there. Ball movement everywhere, and pow, he's dropping threes. The unsung hero, but I think people are starting to hear his name now. His last name is Kuthon, and last night he only missed 2 shots and had 24 points. Now he's like their center. He's 6'6", and I think they said he's a junior, so he can still grow a little bit. He's a big kid. Big kid, 24 points, like 6 rebounds. For Maiden, though, it didn't help that Maiden was trying to settle for 3-point shots. There was, at no time last night did Maiden, to me, seem like they wanted to set up any half-court offense. They were playing hero ball. Everybody thought that they could take everyone one-on-one, and you just can't. You can't. East Lincoln was so much bigger. They had the height advantage. The athletes that were out there, no one wanted to drive in the lane where there's a 6'6" Kuthon and, Sidney Dollar can come across and help and block your shot into the next row. So no one really wanted to do that. And Maiden had shooting woes. God, they had shooting woes. They only had 2 players in double-digit points, and that was 10 and 11. And meanwhile, it was a 25-point blowout, and Kuthon had 24 points. So it was hard for Maiden to keep up last night, but they played hard. They came out better in the second half than they did in the first half, but the deficit was already so much, and East Lincoln didn't slow down at all.
Carson, I got your mic fixed better now. Try that.
There we go. Maybe
he ain't got mine fixed though.
Yeah, well, it gives it.
Maybe
a nice
you just brought
texture.
in so much electricity.
Am I electric?
And then you.
Oh God. Oh boy.
No comment on
Oh,
that.
man.
Should I get up and slide?
No.
Oh man.
No.
Woogie.
Whew.
Nothing on that one, Carson.
Oh, yeah,
All
no.
right.
That's what makes
Sports.
this exciting.
All right. So we're gonna go over the standings here in just a minute. I did want to a few comments last night from Mike. Y'all got any more on y'all's game? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I had to go down the hall. Did we get to you?
No,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I had to get down the hall.
No, that's fine. I was at Huss Sportsview last night. That game, it was close after the first quarter, 17-15 Huss, and then they went on a 21-3 run for the majority of the second quarter. I mean, they were too much for Forest View. Forest View, it sounds a lot like Maiden was last night. Is they tried too hard to shoot threes when maybe, I mean, they had some guys that had size down low, and maybe you try and try something different at a certain point. But Huss just really came out. They had good transition, had really good defense last night, caused a lot of turnovers. This might not be the best. This is not nearly the best Huss team that they've probably had in the last 5 years, but it's a team that, if you know Coach Wallace, it's a lot like him. They like to play defense. They like to get turnovers. They like to run. I mean, Walt runs that, that Carolina slap and go. Like, we want turnovers. We want to get out in transition. We want to move the basketball. We want to not let the defense get set. And, I mean, that's exactly what they got, to do to Forest View last night. I think it'll be interesting, though, because, I mean, Kings Mountain sort of just pulled away from Huss in the game that we went to.
That's what he did against Burns last night.
And I think there's probably Kings Mountain is the best team in the Big South. Like most, I think you ask 9 out of 10 people, they would say Kings Mountain's the best team in the conference. But right underneath them, you got Ashbrook, you got Huss, North Gaston's pretty solid.
Did Ashbrook win last night? They were 3-1 going into last night.
I did not see. But really, and another team that impressed me a lot was Gaston Day. I saw them at the end of Kings Mountain's winter tournament, and they were. They've got size. They've got Demi Adelakun, this big. I think 6'7", 6'8", and he's not just tall. He's got good post moves. He's a solid fundamental player. So I think really, in Gaston County, I would really like to see Gaston Day play more public schools. Because then that's really, I understand that they have their own thing over there, and they've got a good team, but I would like to see them challenge themselves, and I think people in Gaston County want to see that. They want to see the public school teams. You want to see Huss, Ashbrook, Forest View, all those teams go play against Gaston Day, and really that gives you, I think, a better gauge of Gaston Day when they get to play those public school teams.
Ashbrook 59-49 last night. Winners are at Stuart Kramer, or versus Stuart Kramer. I don't know where it was at. Dotson had 20 points for you Ashbrook fans.
I want to say something. Why, and this is me, and I guess I know the NBA's made it fall down into college, and now it's falling into high school.
I hope you're about to ask a question I was about to ask.
Yeah,
this is going to be crazy.
My whole deal, why do we just absolutely, this is all we're going to do is shoot threes?
There you go.
I can't stand it.
Now, hold on.
I can't stand it.
It's so aggravating to me.
I was about to ask that exact question last night because me and Philip got into it for high school basketball.
It's terrible.
The analytics do not translate down the line because the NBA players are such good shooters, and the college basketball players are actually such good shooters because the lines is so short. So those two, it translates over when you get into high school basketball. We were discussing last night. So in the NBA and college basketball, a lot of times they'll pass, and whoever's open shoots the ball.
Yes.
It's like a video game.
Yeah.
The video game, if you ever played a basketball video game, if the guy's open, he's got a 9 times out of 10 better chance of hitting a shot if someone's near him. So that's kind of how they play. In high school basketball, and Terry don't know it, and the teams I was on, there's 2 or 3 people on the court sometimes. I didn't want to shoot in the basketball.
That's exactly right.
I don't care how open they were.
That's right. Know your role. That's what makes me mad about today's game.
I saw some threes fired up last night that were
when you go back and I'm going to go back and I'm going to speak of Rodman and Jordan and Pippen. They knew their role. They knew, Rodman, hey, I'm a rebounder. That's my job. Yeah, I'll get a daggum stick back every now and then, but I know what my job is. But nowadays, in high school, I go watch games, and I'm like, why are you shooting? I can get open.
But that's how the game has evolved now because even centers are shooting. 6'10", 6'11" guys are supposed to be outside shooting threes now. That's just how it is.
Do either one of y'all remember the Odoms kid at Kings Mountain?
Orlando Odoms.
Yep. So before he comes in the game, Terry, you'll love him. He's got awesome footwork.
Footwork's right.
Feetwork.
If it was footwork, it would be 1 foot.
So okay, so feetwork that Odoms has. Carter, I go.
Makes sense.
Yes, makes sense. Grammatically, no.
Grammatically, no. It's awful, but it makes sense.
A lot of things in the English language don't make sense. But anyway, I told Philip, I said, this kid's going to catch a charge here before he goes out. It wasn't 2 minutes. He caught one guy over the back. He caught an offensive charge, and another guy tried to wrap around him. He got 3 fouls in 2 minutes on the other team just by having his feet. And that was just on defensive line. It wasn't even on offense. And we kind of got into neither team has any post game. Neither, because how's Burns going to come back when it's nothing but up and down basketball? When it's the same thing, it kind of plays in the Kings Mountain. It's hand. You don't want to get up and down with them. Kings Mountain's they might be the best team in the conference. Their weakness this year, and I think they don't have. There is no height on the team really, other than Melton. And he's 6'2", 6'3". They're all 6'2", 6'3". The whole team is 6'2", 6'3". So there's no. As soon as they run into one of those big, good grief for the team of Winston-Salem last year was all 6'7".
That's what hurts, high school basketball. If you have
especially
that one
public schools.
Yes, public schools especially. If
Anything
you have
over
that
6,
one,
anybody over 6'7" is going to prep school about.
Anybody that's over, if most kids. Yeah, the average kid is not 6'5", 6'6". That's not how it is. That's like how it is whenever I was at East Lincoln last night. They had a 6'4" kid in Sidney Dollar and Kuthon 6'6", and the next closest person was 6'2". So he was already giving up 2 inches to Dollar and 4 inches to Kuthon, and you just couldn't do anything about it down in the post. And size, you can't teach size. The kids can work out all they want, but it doesn't mean you're gonna grow. Sometimes it stunts your growth.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it so hard for high school basketball, is because if that one team has if the tallest player you have is 6'6", and you're putting him in the post, you got to remember though, if someone's looking at this kid, 6'6", that's a guard.
That's a wing.
That's a wing player.
Maybe.
That's a wing player.
I used to tell our kids, I'm like, learn before you become a pro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like playing softball, baseball, whatever. Use 2 hands. Because you got so many kids out there who want to snap it with one hand, and then all of a sudden the ball falls out, and you'll be like, close it off, use 2 hands while you're learning, But I don't know. I get so aggravated when I go to a high school game. I do, and I'm serious. Learn how to hit your layups, quote, if you got one. Then go to the free throw line. Learn how to shoot at least 70% from the line. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can do better, but at least you get 70%.
I'm with you, Terry.
And then learn how to shoot a 3, because, your percentages keep going down.
Who ruined the NBA with that? And I don't mean like ruined it, but, basketball coming up, everybody, who was it that was hitting all the threes and everybody just said, I want to be that? Was it Steph?
Steph.
Was it Steph? Or was it Jimmer those years he was hitting them when he crossed half court?
This is all about Steph, because, and I've said this over the years.
He's now third
when we argue, I know, and when we argue about the Dwight Howard and other centers, like we got Biombo running out there last night. So, yeah. And the argument is, and I've been saying, look, Steph is different.
He is different.
You can't play Steph ball. You can't play Jordan ball without Jordan, can you?
That's right.
How many teams? Kobe's the only one that's come close to do it, and he had a 7-foot behemoth helping in the triangle. So you can't, just because the best player does it this way, and everybody's a copycat league, so the NFL can copycat and win games. Basketball, Steph's a different animal because of the way he stretched. The fact, as playing the point guard position, most of the times you just want the point guard, if he's outside the 3-point line, let him stay out there because he's not making a play.
Yeah.
This dude's out here shooting 3-pointers from 40. I remember a high school basketball game of playing a guy. He never hit probably 3 in his life, really, but once a game, he has won a game.
Yeah.
8 threes in a game. 2 of them banked in. And I'm guarding him. And the coach is like, get out on him. I'm like, I'm standing outside the 3-point line.
Banking it in,
he's
come on
banking.
now.
He hits 8.
There's some nights you're just like, dude, the hoop to him looks like a trash can. Like he's just hitting everything.
But Steph does that every single night. So you got all these other teams. So you got the Kim. Every team's got a scoring point. Every team's got a scoring point guard.
Well, you know what doesn't help though. You know what doesn't help? The fact that the coaches just let them do it.
Yeah, they do.
And that's like a coach's game play. It's like, all right, we're going to have 4 out on the perimeter. You're just going to pass it around to one of you's open enough to get the shot off.
Well, Williamson from Duke now, all of a sudden here lately, if you start watching Duke play, he is stepping out shooting threes.
Well, you know what has Duke always been known for? You live and die by the 3. For years that was they were 3-ball, 3-ball, 3-ball.
It's kind of their fault too.
It is their fault.
But it's not their. It's not. It is their fault, but it's not. Coach K is one of the ones that started all this too, because the 3-point line. It's
shorter.
For college, it's in the high school range. Once you, like you said, you go to high school, you got one kid that can shoot threes, maybe 2. You get to college now, you got 3, maybe 4. So that's what Coach K started doing. He just started.
And now
playing
bigs are shooting threes. So
just being a Carolina fan and knowing that offense. And the whole offense is designed around the post, getting it too. If you get 3s, congratulations.
Carolina's offense has always been post and transition. transition.
They run the secondary break.
And it kills me when they get out in transition and go for a transition 3. I'm like, dude, your lane's wide open.
Yeah.
Why are you looking for the 3? Take the easy 2.
I saw this past week. They were breaking away, and it's a high school game.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3 guys that broke away from everybody else behind them, and the dude stops for a 3.
For a 3.
So I guess he understood, okay, I got 2 guys going for the rebound, so if I miss, no big deal.
Now,
and
Terry,
he missed.
Now, Terry,
but they picked it up and laid it in.
Now, a minute ago, we were talking about high school. Sometimes the player might want to shoot better than the other 2. So I've played with a couple of people where I would rather them pull up and take that 3 every time than pass it to the other 2 that's cutting to the basket. They might not can dribble or shoot. We just talked about that a minute ago, Terry.
And of course, we're not saying anything
I'm
bad
not
about
saying it every
the
time.
three-point.
I know.
You know Andy Sane.
Yeah.
He ain't missed yet in his life bout. If do you want him pulling up for 3 or passing it to Jason
I'm like,
Sane?
get the points.
You know, Andy and Jason both have worked to play with us. Andy's pulling down the court, Terry, for 3. Do you want Andy to pull the 3 or kick it at Jason in the post?
Oh, well.
To answer that question, Jason can rebound and he can scrap, but you don't want Andy throwing the ball to Jason at all ever. So anyway, those are some buddies over at West Lincoln. Andy, I think, is he still the all-time leading scorer over there, or somebody broke that, or
I'd have to check.
I do want to know. Addison wanted to know about that too, and I'm like, I don't know if you got there, Addison. Well, Andy put up some points. Let's look at this standings real quick. We got to go to break. Let's start in the 1A. We got Lincoln Charter 2-0, Piedmont Community Charter 2-0, Thomas Jefferson 1-1, Cherryville 1-1, Highland School of Tech 0-2, Bessemer City 0-2. Cherryville boys and girls, I think, swept Bessemer City last night. Congratulations!
Like 33.
Yep.
13-2
is the Cherryville Ironman overall. Highland Tech 8-6 overall. Bessemer City 7-5 overall. TJ 4-8. Piedmont Charter 11-2, and Lincoln Charter 12-3. Over in the South Fork 2A. East Lincoln improved to undefeated last night in the conference. 5-0, 4-1 Maiden. Bandy's 3-2. Newton Conover 3-2. Lake Norman Charter 2-2. Lincoln 1-3. North 1-4. West 0-5. West 0-13. Terry's still looking for their first victory on the year. Let's see. East Lincoln is 13-1 overall. Maiden's got 13 wins as well, 13-2 in that conference. I wonder if those scores are up last night. We'll give those scores. Is that last night's scores? No. That's last week's scores. All right, so moving over to the Southwest 2A, Shelby and East Rutherford both 1-0. South Point and Chase 1-1. R. Central and East Gaston 0-1. Overall, East Rutherford 12-1. They've always got a good basketball program over there, Terry. 9-4 for Shelby. South Point 9-6. They've been strong in the last few years, getting some first ever career playoff wins in for the school. Chase 3-11. R. Central 10-5, and East Gaston 5-8. I like to mention RS Central. They got the best concession area in the area. Not the food or anything. They've got the old scoreboards in the concession area hooked to the thing, so you know the scores and the time.
We got that at West Lincoln.
Do you now got that? Sweet. So that's pretty cool to have those. You know, if you stuck in line buying a chicken sandwich or something, right?
Around watch it on it too.
All right, over in the 3A, Kings Mountain, of course, 5-0. Ashbrook 4-1, Creston, Huss 3-2, North Gaston 2-3, Forest View, Burns, and Stuart Kramer 1-4, Kings Mountain 10-3 overall. That they start off 0-3. No, or 1-3. They're 9 straight wins. Sorry. Ashbrook 9-5 overall. All right, guys, it's time to take a break. JP, you ready? I don't have to shoot you today. Carson's got the gun locked and loaded, though. He's going to be ready if JP falls asleep. All right, we come back. We got to talk national championship football. The spread was 60.5, 59, and they got 60. Even in a blowout, they hit the spread on the dot, Hunter. Is it fixed?
Happens.
Is it
fixed?
Happens.
Happens.
Okay.
Happens.
Quite often.
Remember the theory, folks. If you're watching on YouTube, Hunter and Carson share their Atlanta Braves hat. You've never seen them both in a Braves hat at the same time. We'll be back in a minute. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Countdown USA.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Dustin Lynch, who's spending the new year someplace warm.
You know, for me, I hate the cold. So January in Nashville is something I don't want to be a part of. So it's good. It's always been good timing.
That's Dustin Lynch this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Say, kids, what time is it?
This is the 60s.
Hey, JJ Wilson here, reminding you to tune in this weekend for This is the 60s, featuring the best music from the best decade and so much more. There's 60s television, movies, news, pop culture, trivia, novelty songs, interviews, deep cuts, and a whole lot more. It's peace, love, and rock and roll on This is the 60s.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Boss, WHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton.
It's the 30th anniversary of NBA basketball in Charlotte, and the Hornets are writing the latest chapter in Charlotte basketball history with their first-year head coach, James Borrego. Fast-paced and high-flying. Join the new voice of Charlotte Hornets basketball, Chris Kroger, and 10-year NBA veteran Matt Carroll as they deliver every thrilling moment of Hornets hoops all season long on the Charlotte Hornets Radio Network.
Here's Charlotte Hornet basketball right here on The Boss in Carolina Country, WHS, WCSL, and WLON. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com. Now's the time to buy your new Kubota from Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Right now, pay zero money down. Get 0% APR financing for 60 months. Come on in now for all the details. All for good on the Kubota BX Series, the Kubota B Series, the Kubota L Series, and the Kubota MX Series tractors. Again, zero money down and 0% APR financing for 60 months. Get your new Kubota today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain.
I tried.
I've tried for at least 2 years.
I had a mouthful.
Y'all just look at me.
I had a mouthful.
Yeah,
of this.
and Terry just looks back like, oh.
Y'all got it, man. That's what I say.
We're just gonna sit here and stare.
One day we're gonna have a standoff, Terry, and I'm just not gonna say anything
because
until
the people on YouTube can watch us just stare at him like,
yeah.
What's he doing?
God, what was that?
There's a sounds like there's a
somebody just shot that.
There's a jackal or a hyena in the control room.
Look, I am not as bad as Mark Hamill as the Joker. Okay, I can't do the laugh.
He's
now,
pretty
you want
good.
me to? I can try, but I think
No.
people.
We're good, JP.
We're good. Hornets play at home this Thursday, folks. Sacramento Kings when we got the Hornets game. Let's see, college football, Terry. National championship. Y'all remember who all y'all picked last week?
I took Clemson.
I took Alabama.
Clemson.
So Hunter was the lone Bama picker. Roll
I
Tide
had
for
brought
Hunter.
in the paper that broke it down because I had picked Alabama all year long, and then when I figured it up, I said, "There's no way."
What was the secret no way math that you knew, Terry?
That defense was a little bit stouter for Clemson than what Alabama had ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's all I had to know.
And that Alabama defense, like, I mean, yeah, it's good, but it's not.
Clemson's defense didn't
what
have
it
anything to do with
normally is.
Alabama score. With the Clemson giving up, I mean, Alabama's defense giving up 44, though, did it?
I think what caught everybody by surprise was Lawrence.
I think so also.
Lawrence. He just caught everybody. Like, you knew, okay, obviously he was good enough to be a starting freshman in the ACC, but nobody thought he was good enough to hang, what was it, 44, 46 on 44 on an Alabama defense. And
how long do you think he'll stay in college? Do you think he'll finish his life?
he said he wants to stay the full 4.
He said he wants to win 3 more, yeah.
There's no
That's
way.
what you're supposed to say.
There's
Yeah,
no way.
everybody's going to say that right now. But he also has the 2 wide receivers at the same,
I'm just saying.
freshman and sophomore that are pretty good
The
also.
talk, and I think it's so premature, this talk, but the talk is if he were to come out now, he probably would have been the first quarterback taken off the board.
I bet he would have.
And I'm saying,
He's
let's calm down.
He's put 40. He's a pocket passing quarterback who just
Yeah, he's
put
a pocket
44 in
passer.
Alabama.
He's pocket.
Yeah, he's going number 1.
He's
He's
6'6".
He's Nick Foles.
He put 44 on an NFL defense.
Yeah, he's Nick Foles. So
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, hey, let's calm down. Let's see if he can do it again next year. And then I would say, oh, absolutely. But do I think he stays the rest of his 3 years? No. There's no way. Because if he's as good as advertised, then there's no question he'll go number 1 to whoever needs a quarterback. So when your draft stock
half
is
the league needs a quarterback.
Yeah, when your draft stock is that high, then why would you risk it?
He threw a post move in that game that hit the receiver in the hands, and it took the receiver's hands back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a cannon.
Well,
No, he's impressive.
There was I heard some quote. It was from Taj Boyd. He was just like, certain people are born to do certain things. Trevor Lawrence was born to throw a football. Like he said, he's the best passer, pure passer he's ever seen. And Taj Boyd is, if you're a Clemson fan, that's a top 5 quarterback in that program.
I'm just saying. He won't stay, but a couple throws he had in that game too some could say got bailed out by how good his receivers are. Some of those there was one-handed catches they were making on sidelines over Alabama defenders. Now that's not to take away from all the rest of the throws. Obviously, he had to do a lot to hang 44 on that defense.
Sometimes makes you greater than what you are.
But let's look at the flip side of the football, which is the Alabama offense. Tua looked bad. Tua, he looked awful. Now, he looked pretty good. Actually, no, he looked great against Oklahoma. 3 incompletions, 4 touchdowns against Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a Big 12 defense, though.
Well, that's what I was getting
Which
at.
is literally,
Carson.
I'm sorry, man.
You
lead me to it, and I'm going to take it.
I'm tickling you, but then I'm like, don't.
Man, don't make that
deal for y'all. Last year we saw Saban make a move. Should he have made a move in this one?
Yes. Oh, yes. When you're down that many points, you did it in the SEC championship.
When did he?
I know Tua kind of got tweaked up, but
when did he eventually bring in Jalen Hurts? When it was like 8 minutes left in the game or something like that, and almost at that point, it's almost a slap in the face.
Hey, I'm gonna be completely honest with all of you guys. I stopped watching when the fourth quarter started. I said, this is a blowout. There's no way Alabama comes back from this far down. There's no way Alabama
not
comes
against
back.
That defense.
No.
Yeah,
and the defense is not just physical. That's probably the fastest defense in college football.
Mm-hmm.
The fastest defense. They cover so much ground. Alabama's run game was okay in the first half, but still Clemson would shut that down in a heartbeat. Passing game was non-existent. Partially, I put on Tua. Yes, Clemson got to him early, but Tua he just looked off compared to games he's played throughout the year. Because even against SEC teams, he was out there completing every bit, 75-80% of his passes.
I think, but yeah, like you said, Hunter, that was far and away the best defense he had played all year.
Oh, easily.
I think that's the problem with Alabama every year is, they're so good, but maybe they're so good that when they do get into a tight game, they're not comfortable. They don't play those.
A game
enough.
like that though is good for college
football. You got
football.
Nick Saban throwing stuff at you, and yelling and cussing.
This is the only reason, and this is the only reason a game like that last night was good for college football, because I'm sick and tired of seeing both of them in the national championship game. It's because now people see the formula it takes to beat a Nick Saban Alabama team. They see the formula. Now, whether they can get the recruits to put that team together is difficult. We know there's maybe 5 programs in the country that can get players like that. One of them is also in the SEC in Georgia.
LSU could.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. Any SEC school could get players to put together a team like that. Of course, it comes down to the coach, and I'll get to that in a second. But that was the blueprint, and maybe Ohio State can try and put it together. Georgia, fine. I mean, they've had Alabama on the ropes twice and just couldn't finish. So they know what it takes to win. I don't know if you're college football and you were a head coach in one of these Power 5 conferences, you were watching that game hard after you saw that Clemson had jumped out to such a lead. Because people say all the time, there's no way you can beat Alabama until boom.
And I loved it on account of you can turn on one network and it's showing the game, but you flip over to another and it's got coaches sitting there identifying what's happening and how to break. And to me, that's the ones I want, because I was watching more of that, of how they said, okay, this is what's getting ready to happen by the way the defense was setting up, but you wonder, and I guess it all comes back to exactly what Hunter was saying. You got to have all the talent come to your way. And if you do not, then you're not going to be able to compete anyway. They're just going to out-physical you and
Well, I think, like you said, Hunter, there might be 5 teams that can recruit. I think there's, if anything, this playoff has shown that just Alabama and Clemson are so much farther ahead of everybody else. It's not even funny.
And for college football, That's what college football wanted. They didn't want it to go Alabama 3, Clemson 1.
Yeah.
Well, if Clemson win and now it's like 2-2, hey, buddy, next year y'all might meet again, and that's what we would love.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what
the committee would love.
Yeah.
For some of us, you're about sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of it. We have
if
said
it's the two best teams, it's the two best teams.
Well, and you want to know why I'm sick and tired of it is because it takes away. That's what's so nice about the NFL. Now, I don't like the NFL and how the only reason that the NFL to me is not over college football is because I hate when I see players like Le'Veon, Antonio. Not a shot at Pittsburgh, but players that are like holding out for their money.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you got to understand, like, compared to the average Joe that's out here working, you're making, even your rookie contract, you're making, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times what anybody would think about making in their whole year. And sometimes their lifetime.
Yeah.
But when I look at the college game, to me, it's the same thing with the NBA. Who do you think's going to this year? There's a little bit more of a chance on anybody being there from the West. But if you had to just guess at the beginning of the NBA season, who's going to be there in the finals in the West? It's who? A lot of us would say Golden State. It's so predictable. It's like, well, why would I even watch? Well, I knew they were going to be there anyways. That's the same thing with how college football is now with Alabama and Clemson. Last year was a good mix-up where Georgia got in. And I'm not just saying that as a fan.
But even then, that's 2 SEC teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, again, what are we going to see it again next year? Then what's the point of playing the whole season? Why don't you just line them up at the beginning of the season and have at it? And there's your national championship game.
I agree with you. And Kevin says it all the time. If you're a North Carolina State, some of your programs that are not elite, but you lose one game, then you knew you're done then.
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't care if you win the rest of them. You're going to get just a basic old bowl game, and that's
where the conversation of 8 teams, comes into the play for the playoffs. I don't think that's a bad idea, 8 teams, and this is the reason why. It goes back to when you were talking, Terry, about how you don't like when players sit out. I understand that. But you can blame the bowl system for that. Because like how Kevin says it, and truthfully, besides giving money to the schools, it's a participation award. If you had 8 teams, or an 8-team playoff in there, you can't tell me those games wouldn't be harder fought and kids wouldn't sit out knowing that there's a chance for them to advance and get closer and closer to a championship. It'll make the competition better, the game's harder, and if you don't want to see kids sit out, then they won't sit out because they're like, hey, I actually have a chance to win a national championship game. And I don't care, the 8 teams this year would have included UCF and they got blown out by LSU. This is nothing to include UCF. This is to make the games better. This is to make the games better and to give the possibility of an upset. We all knew who the final 2 were going to be. Everybody said Notre Dame was not supposed to be in there. They got blown out by 27.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't think, a lot of people didn't. You could have argued Oklahoma did deserve to be in there, but they still got, it wasn't as much of a waxing as I thought it was, but
it wasn't a blowout, yeah.
It wasn't a blowout, but it wasn't, all right, well, I'll put it this way. It wasn't a blowout, but it was never in question who was going to win.
I agree.
Alabama was in control the whole game. So, if you put 8 teams in there, yes, someone would have been like, well, Georgia didn't need to be in because they have 2 losses. You can't sit here and tell me Georgia's still, with 2 losses, not one of the top 4 programs in college football. You can't. And then Ohio State would have been in. I mean, there's just so many more chances for the national championship game to be different. And if it was not, then that's clear cut that Alabama and Clemson were definitely miles ahead of anybody else. But don't sit here and say like, oh, it's too many games. It's not too many games. Take some of the bowl games away. That, the little rinky-dink, whatever, the Capital One.
They don't even have to take anything away. They can just play the same thing.
You can just play the same bowl game and just advance.
They're already there. They just change the date.
The Big Ten's already sitting back saying they want to file a petition on account of they was not in.
Let's back up, too. You've got...
Get better.
Let's back up, too. You've got conference championship games that they added extra and then said we can't play any more games.
Yeah.
Alabama plays 3 games every year their 5th string could beat. So we could do that. We could take away one of those weeks. You don't have to play 12 games in regular season. There's a lot of... every excuse they have, Hunter. The only thing is you got these bowl commissioners. That one dude for the Capital One, whatever bowl, he got $1 million and he doesn't do anything.
Oh yeah,
he got that's the bowl commissioner. So those you got to convince a lot of people.
Oh, I know
to
you
give up a lot of millions of dollars.
And if college and they're starting to hear it too, because they're saying 2020 time, not 2020, but like in the 2020s, they would possibly think about going to 8. I'm thinking, dude, you got to go this year.
They're talking about not doing that till like 2025.
These
That's
big
what I'm saying. You can't wait that long.
These big schools don't want the playoffs, because then you're going to let an NC State in or a Carolina in eventually, and one of them's going to upset the apple cart and win it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think
that's
that'd be
what
fantastic.
A lot of people do, Hunter, but the people in the top 10, Alabama don't think that will be fantastic at all. I mean, they're one little change or one little something away from not winning any of the games. I mean, Vanderbilt sits here in this conference this whole time. We either get rid of them or make them, or they'll get better at some point. Kentucky's gotten better at football right now, so yeah, there's got to be some type of a push. That there's a lot of money to be.
And this
changed.
is what
and what may happen though. It may be one of these lawsuits that like the NCAA football game lawsuits that end up changing this, and we have this girl in high school basketball this week. I don't know if any of you guys have followed this.
Yeah,
she's on the Team USA roster. Ate about $800 worth of food, according to Team USA. They sent her a stipend for it. Now it was Team USA's mistake. They sent the check. She didn't know. She's a 17-year-old girl. She cashed the check because she thought it was for her food.
Yeah.
They call back and say, that was breaking a rule. Can you send the check back? Well, she'd already cashed it. She said, yeah, that's fine. I'll just send you the money back. She sends the money back.
Yeah.
Alabama Athletic Association, High School Athletic Association, says she can't play.
Yeah.
Carson, feelings? Thoughts?
That's stupid. It's really stupid. I mean, honestly, like, it's one thing, to have kids go play like in Europe. Like if you think you have the ability to come out of high school, and go play in Europe, go do that, go make money. But if you are literally playing for your country, why would you not? Why would
you? They can't feed.
Why would anybody be mad at you for taking that money?
The country the Team USA cannot feed,
and it's not like it's an exorbitant amount of money. It's literally paying you back.
So think about this, Carson. Now I went to London for 3 weeks with the exchange amount and not realizing how expensive stuff was. Either also, I was out of my money in about a week of what I'd planned for food money and everything.
Yeah.
So you're a high school student. Team USA invites you to go play basketball. You go to Barcelona or London. And now all of a sudden you're sitting here and they can't buy your food. You have to buy your own food. Come play for us. Represent our country. I hope we win. We're going to sell a lot of T-shirts. We're going to sell a jersey with your name on it. Mm-hmm. But you got to pay for your own food.
Yeah.
$800. And then now what has happened is a lot of lawsuits have been flying. Jay Billis got involved.
Yeah, he did.
And they find the judge threw it out, and now that they're pushing for the Alabama Athletic Association to drop the case. They still have the case over.
That's ridiculous.
So the Athletic
but
Association
she was able to play.
Isn't buzzing.
She was able to play last night.
So because the lawsuits held it off. So who is fighting this girl playing?
That's
so
what I'm
hard?
saying.
Is it someone in the Athletic Association? Is it the teams that she has to play against?
If it's the Athletic Association, doesn't that mean that there's taxpayer money being paid?
Not necessarily. North Carolina Athletic Association is a private a charity.
Right.
They are not have anything to do with the schools.
Okay.
The schools pay them to make brackets. And then they get to fine the schools back if they break a rule or something, don't they, Terry? They can fine the schools, can't they?
They can.
This Athletic Association, North Carolina, I don't know the Alabama's
That's what
situation.
I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't know either.
North Carolina's Athletic Association, 2 years ago, since it's a charity or public, whatever
Not
they
for
list
profit,
themselves,
whatever.
They have to publish their tax stuff.
Yeah.
So, for example, 3 years ago, they brought in $9 million.
Yeah.
How much of that you think went to scholarships?
Probably not even $500,000.
$600,000 went to scholarships. At North Carolina, the tuition's $9,000, so roughly that's about 60, 65 kids. So there's 100 counties in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So the North Carolina Athletic Association gives out less scholarships than there are counties in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, where does the rest of that money go? $3.5 million of it go to the salaries of the Athletic Association. You know how many people work at the Athletic Association? 19. Is the janitor making $120,000 a year?
If so, I need to go sign
Say,
up.
wait a minute. Wait
19
a minute.
I'll go take some trash out for
Yeah.
nothing.
Terry,
money.
19 people splitting up nonprofit $3.5 million. And then remember, these athletic schools pay them. We're paying them to do this. And then they turn around and tell us not to do the ball games. Wonder why? Because the people working there are getting over an average of $100,000 a year. That's including janitors and secretaries. Now, I'm pretty sure they're not making that, so the other ones are making a little bit more money.
Yeah.
$3.5 million of it, Terry, goes into the endowment program. They've got like $30 million in that. How about where's the other $3 million go to? They don't even list it. It goes down on their piece of paper. Miscellaneous expenses. $3.5 million.
And some of that money should go back into helmets, stuff for every school.
That is a very good point from Terry Reinhardt. The helmets are the most expensive things for these schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
easily.
And they give scholarships to less kids than in our counties, and they pocket more money. I bet there's people in that making more money than that. $600,000.
Kevin, be careful. We might be getting some emails saying shush, shush, shush.
Oh, I say this every year. They know they can't not prove it. It's in every single person in North Carolina can go online and find these facts.
Yeah.
So these are public facts. So if they want it, they can't disagree with it. But
right.
That's the way it works. So Carson, when they make these decisions, all it takes. Think about this. Say this girl plays. Let's say for around here, for example, and I'm going to use Bessemer City and Cherryville for examples because there's not this kind of money floating around. But some of these Texas high schools got multi-million-dollar football stadiums.
Yes.
Some of these donors have lots of money. All it takes is let's say this girl played at Cherryville. All it takes is the billionaire at Bessemer City to call the Athletic Association. I'll donate $3 million for this girl not to play. I'll donate $1 million.
Basically.
That's how these things could easily work, and people don't think that easily. Come on now. So, I'm not saying that's what happened, but there's so much money involved, even on the high school level, that the high school girl in the Olympics. The Olympics. That one just tore me up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you guys heard us last night.
You got a mouthful of steak and egg and cheese biscuit. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
It's a good biscuit.
Breaking news. I don't know. It's not. It's not
delicious.
It's not technically breaking news this morning. We broke the story last night. Of course, I was at East Lincoln with Tim and Ken. Well, Sage Surratt showed up. Tim went over there and talked with Sage. Of course, asked him the end-all, be-all question. What is Chaz going to do with his college football career? Sage replied back and said Chaz is staying at the University of North Carolina. Now, I don't know if Chaz is just covering up for his brother because he really doesn't know, so take it with a grain of salt. But as of last night, talking with Chaz's brother, he said that Chaz is going to, I'm going to address him as Chaz's brother, Sage Surratt. He says that his brother Chaz will be staying at the University of North Carolina. Good move, bad move?
Great move. I think it's one of the smartest moves they ever made, or they've ever made. As a family, you got Mac Brown coming into town. Here's the deal. They have nobody else at quarterback. We've seen it the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Larry Fedora, as a Carolina fan, Terry, I don't know, as a State fan watching, we didn't think anything he was doing was worth anything.
Nothing.
He
had everybody fooled while he had Butch Davis's kids.
Yep. So the line was just awful at the point when Chaz was starting, and it was like watching Eli back there, dodging bullets. So Chaz, I'm not saying he was playing great or lighting the world on fire, but the stats weren't that bad. So he was doing a lot of escaping. So the game he got hurt on was a play where the Matador lineman let a D tackle hit him right in the legs, off a run, very quickly. So Chaz got hurt and they brought the other kid in. Well, the next week he starts, and Fedora said, well, he had a good game this week against the practice squad.
He better.
What did you recruit him for if he didn't? Exactly, Carson. Terry, have you ever heard that in the history of football, a coach in any level?
Names the starter.
NFL, college, high school,
Wolfpack coach would have said
anybody. Yeah, he had a good week against the practice squad. We're going to put him in this week. So anyway, that went in. But nothing against Elliott. But Mac Brown's going to walk in there.
Yeah.
He's going to look at the 6'4" left-handed quarterback who can sling it forever, who is the Parade National All-American Player of the Year, and he's going to say, "You might want to. You're probably going to give a chance." I coached Vince Young.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, he coached
how did Mac Brown win his national championship with a big mobile quarterback?
Yes. And
arguably one of the best college quarterbacks ever played.
Oh yeah.
And it's they're bringing in, they got a freshman coming in they think can play here from Charlotte. We'll see. That's still not Mac's recruit, but the thing is, Mac's not there to get his guys for the next 10 to 15 years type thing. He's too old. So this is
plus it's going to be a different quarterback coach that's going to be able to teach him too.
Exactly what they want. And so what you're going to have is Chaz being there for a couple of years with the other quarterbacks that we already think and know he's probably better than, and then you got freshman competitors. So I think he's in the perfect situation. If he transfers, everything's new. Nobody's attached to him. Nobody recruited him.
You're right.
There's nothing there. It's not now. If it was an Appalachian situation where you got a national championship type team like nearby, but Charlotte isn't that yet.
No.
So that's something that you could think about in that situation, kind of like Cam Newton did. But right now I think Mac Brown's it fell in his lap, and I think it's a great opportunity.
I agree. I think it's a good idea for him to stay.
I think it's a great
I thought y'all were
idea
going to
for
say
him.
you asked Sage about playing basketball over and helping saving the Demon Deacons. Golly, somebody needs
He wouldn't do anything.
the best basketball player at Wake Forest University.
And he plays
is playing
on the
wide receiver
on the football team.
I mean, he might be. I mean, seriously, they're having it rough. Speaking of we're going to go to a break here in a few minutes. Let's get into college basketball real quick. For a few
It's
minutes.
just a college segment. That's
Yeah, we're
what
going to
this
do the
is.
college
Just a whole
segment.
college segment.
So what I wanted to get from that, Duke played their first away game this week.
Yeah.
Their first true away
game. And we'll real quick, before I get to that, I was back to the Wake Forest thing.
Yeah.
And the Duke thing. I want to tie those two together. The kids on the internet this week were freaking out over Zion Williamson's 360 dunk. Terry, you ever seen a left-handed, muscle-bound ACC basketball player do a 360 dunk before? That's 6'7". Played for Wake Forest against the Tar Heels. Played for the Phoenix Suns. You ever heard of Rodney Rogers?
I was getting ready to say that would
Does
be the
Zion
only
Williamson
one.
not look
Well,
just
that was-
like Rodney
yeah.
to you?
Did-
like they're
I want to think
twinsies.
there was a broadcast where they literally that was the exact comparison they made was Rodney Rogers.
Yes, I mean I see it. I mean Zion's not out there. Rodney learned how to shoot too once he got in the NBA. So Zion can sit there.
And I
do
think
it.
that's Terry. You were talking about seeing him step out. I think that's what he's trying to do. I think
he's not going to be at Duke
I
next
think-
year. So yeah,
I think Zion. I think
His
Zion.
whole surround game.
I think Zion Williamson is like he knows what he is
I
already.
think
and
the sky is the limit for that kid.
that's what I'm saying.
not
Like he
even a
knows
Duke
what he
fan.
is right now, but he'd be stupid to not try things in college
No, I understand.
and try and get better.
Well, no, the
I'm
knock
with
on
that.
him is, he's just a bigger, not taller, obviously, but a bigger, burlier LeBron. When LeBron came into the NBA, couldn't shoot a lick. He was just using pure athleticism to get by people.
LeBron looked like T-Mac when he came in. Yeah,
Yeah, he did look like Tracy McGrady. But I think what Coach K is doing, because remember, LeBron didn't have a Coach K. He didn't go to college. He just used his high school
never
basketball
really
coach.
had a great coach
never
at all.
never really had a great coach in the NBA. I've always said, no, he's never had a good coach. Eric Spoelstra was a puppet, and LeBron controlled everyone
Eric
else
Spoelstra
in
was the best
Cleveland.
coach he's ever had. Yeah, it's not even close.
And that was a puppet, so really Pat Riley. So LeBron, he never really established a jump shot until Miami. Dwayne Wade was around him, kind of teaching him how to really play the game. So, but what helps Zion is he's already got Coach K to say, "Hey, man, your game is right here, and it can just there's no ceiling on what his game could be. Why don't you just go ahead and we'll slowly work you into becoming a better shooter."
Do you think Williamson, that when he leaves college and goes to the NBA, is going to be
The number 1 overall pick, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm talking about a elite top 25 of all time. By the time he's
Top
done.
25 of all time.
I don't think you can ever
I
make
don't,
that.
I don't think.
prediction.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I
Yeah.
think it's too early to say just because he's still in college. Now, will he be a transcendent talent in the NBA? Yes.
You know who I keep comparing him to, and it's Larry Johnson.
That's pretty good.
That's the one that I always see is he's big, he's powerful, but he's also fast, he's agile, and he plays good defense. I think that's the thing that people sleep on Zion the most is his defense.
I think right now he's a lot closer to Rodgers because of Larry could shoot. Larry could shoot the lights out when he got hot. Rodgers did that once he got in the NBA. Right now, I think he's right. He can be Larry.
That's what I'm saying.
If he gets that jumper, you're exactly right, Carson. He can be a left-handed Larry. Larry, everybody forgets that he could light it up. The back problems got to him. Everybody thought he was an almost Charles Barkley, right? He just wasn't as it wasn't as mean, wasn't as aggressive. The rebounding that Barkley put, the exhibition he put on at the height he did is just phenomenal. 13 boards a game at 6'5", 6'6". I mean, come on. But Larry would throw 8 boards in there, and you're like, but almost he was almost Barkley. Yeah, but yeah, I do see that a lot on that, Carson. Terry, Wolfpack this week, 33-4 now to Roy Williams.
Yeah,
I was there.
Hunter was there. Let's let Hunter give us the atmospheric report from the upper deck.
I was there. Yes, my buddy's sister. She's a cheerleader, so she got us will call tickets. And Lord, needless to say, I was like, "Dang it, Lauren, they could not have been better." I was like, they couldn't have been better. Like we were up, like literally 2 away from the back of the wall, up in the dang nosebleeds. But when I tell you it was a sea of red everywhere and it was making me sick, it was a sea of red everywhere. I was amongst NC State fans, and I didn't. Now, look, I wanted to be able to come in here alive, so I didn't wear a North Carolina shirt. I just wore a nice plaid shirt. Just kind of went in there. But I still.
Was it red?
No, it wasn't red.
What kind of most plaid shirts are red?
No, it wasn't red. It was
and black and white.
How long it would have took him to get out of there if he'd have had a Carolina
it
shirt.
was like
Hunter's in there in a Mr. Wolf shirt.
It was like a navy blue. It was like a navy blue with like I don't know. But needless to say, that place was electric. But State fans thought that they were in it. The game was only tied up twice, and State never took a lead. And what hurt them the most is they let North Carolina, of course I was a fan, so I was screaming like crazy up there. And everybody was looking around like, who is this? And I was like, hey, it's North Carolina, baby. But we were on a 12, they let us get to a 12-0 run as soon as the game started. And you never closed the gap. You maybe tied it up, but after that we'd go on another 8-0 run. It was too inconsistent offense, really from both teams, but more from NC State.
There were times in the game when I first turned it on, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I cannot believe this. And don't get me wrong, Carolina's a veteran team. Got more guys who have seen this. State's got a bunch of newcomer transfers coming in who all of a sudden think this is the electric game for us and never did get started.
Nope, never got started.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
Luke May quietly puts 21 up, and I'm sitting there at the end like, holy cow, how did that happen? I didn't even know he was playing. Like he just disappears to me.
I was watching the game, and I turned it off when it was 19-5. I did. I was so frustrated, I turned it off. I'm like, here we are, another game with Carolina, and we are not showing up again. So I did turn it off, and
Kevin Keats was out there in that red jacket, and, everybody said, I'm a winner. I said, well, not tonight.
I turned it back on. It was like 37, 31, somewhere in that range, and I watched the rest
of it. But I'll say
it.
this. There was not a player on the floor for NC State that could keep Kobe White in front of him. Everybody that tried to guard him, he put on skates at least twice.
Yeah, and then Johnson got in foul trouble. That hurt us.
And then our Cameron Johnson got hurt in the second half.
Yeah. And then I thought we would come back because he was helping y'all tremendous.
He was playing good ball. He was playing good ball. And
but
that was like a leg injury, but he came back out and just sat on the bench for the rest of the game.
The biggest play in the game come when we had the shot from the side, and I can't remember whether it was Helms or Bryce or somebody was taking a shot. If they would have hit it, would have made it 82-81. There'd have been 50-some seconds to go. Whole game could have changed then. But he missed it, and y'all go down and get a dunk.
He missed it. We got a dunk, and when I tell you, everybody just started standing up and walking out. Everybody started standing up and walking out. I about got in a fight. I'll be completely honest, because look. There were some North Carolina fans down here.
He's one of those people.
No.
He's one of those guys.
No. There was some North Carolina.
I can see that tongue getting a little.
No, there was some North Carolina. Okay, it was a little bit. There were some North Carolina fans down to like my left hand side, down below us, and they were clapping because we were getting close to the end of the game. They were clapping, And this enraged NC State fan, of course he's a student, getting up and is yelling profanity at him, telling him to get out. Yes, absolutely. No, I stood up with them, and I started clapping, and I yelled at all of them, the University of National Champions wins again. The kid stands up in front of me and says, buddy, I'll wait for you outside. That's what he said. He said, buddy, I'll wait for you outside. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you don't know where I'm going to exit.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, looking behind him the rest of the way out.
God forbid you don't want to throw hands right here. I'll wait for you outside.
I got a question for Carson on this one. Vanderbilt or NC State?
For what?
In what?
All right. The rest of that question is, who should Appalachian State replace?
What? In what?
In the conferences.
Oh,
Basketball?
Kevin, you want to
No, the whole conference. Like, we're gonna should the ACC or the SEC? Which one of those should kick out NC State or Vanderbilt for
Wait.
Appalachian? Because
Wait.
let me tell you about NC State. Roy Williams is 33-4 against NC State. Terry.
Okay.
The last time NC State won a basketball championship was 1989. They only have one season in football in the school's history.
See, that's what I was about to get to.
With 10 wins.
We were walking
and Philip
out.
Rivers was there.
Every time we were walking out, all
Should
I
NC
ever
State
heard,
be kicked out of the ACC?
all I ever heard from State fans when I was walking out was saying, "Did you guys like that turkey dinner we served you on Thanksgiving?" And it was taking everything in me to say, North Carolina's got 8 double-digit win seasons in football. You guys have one, and it wasn't even this year.
If you listen to my radio show on Saturdays, you would know that.
No, but God bless it. There were these little
Terry,
girls
what's
sitting
wrong?
next
You
to
don't think
me,
State
and I was
Farm-
speaking
I'm kinda
all sorts of
sitting here
stats, and they were
because
lost.
when you throw up stats, and then you have to go back and you got to think, okay, so what's Roy doing over at his home court, where we have went over and won two
His
of the
home
last
court is in
three.
Raleigh.
We
Yeah,
won two of the
His-
last
he's
three
four-
over there.
He's 14-2. Ain't he like 14-2?
And
in
we
Raleigh?
also gave y'all the lowest point total y'all ever had over there in the history of your basketball.
That's cute. Y'all won one game.
Okay.
Hey,
And it would not surprise me if we do not go back over there this year and beat you for the third time out of 4 years.
1955, 1956, 1959, 1973, 1974, 85, and 89 are NC State's ACC championships. Carolina's got the most at 31, Duke 19, Virginia 8, State 7. Maryland, who we kicked out of the ACC a few years ago, they've won 1, 2, 3 ACC championships since State won their last one. Wake Forest has won 1, 2 since State won their last one. Georgia Tech's won 1 since State won their last one. Miami's won 1. Clemson's won 1 since State won their last one.
even South Carolina, who's not an ACC
before they
team
left,
anymore.
1-1. Boston College, Florida State, Louisville, Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech, Syracuse. No ACC championships. Of course, they just.
I thought Notre Dame
recently
did win
joined.
one
Maybe
a few years ago.
Was that a conference tournament? This is regular season.
Oh yeah, it
List
was a
of
conference
Atlantic
tournament, not
Coast
regular
Conference
season.
regular season
Never mind.
champions.
Yep, you're right. I thought it was the
Then
conference.
we
I thought it was the
compare the
tournament.
players that y'all have had compared to everybody else, and Duke only since Krzyzewski's arrived. But if you go back beyond that, but you got to look, well, yeah, there's 54, 58, 63, 64.
Hey.
So they were winning titles before Krzyzewski ever got there.
Let's calm down now.
That's probably a McGuire.
I'm gonna tell you something.
When did Krzyzewski start?
Hold on. Are you really
Do you
going to
remember
say, let's look at the
7?
players they've got? If you're a good enough team, you can beat anybody. Ain't that right, Terry?
You can, but
Well,
Carolina has had a lot of talented basketball players that have come through.
Arguably the greatest
that
player to
program.
ever put on a pair
They
of tennis
used to
shoes.
say Dean Smith was the world's best coach but could not win titles. You know, and they said that for a long time.
Dean Smith, the only person to ever hold Michael Jordan under 20 points.
Well, and we could get into it one day about all the things as far as bringing innovations to the game of basketball. You ever see a player holding his hand up wanting out of the game? That's Dean Smith.
That's Dean Smith.
Brought the first black player to the ACC. The four corners. They had
Final
installed
Four was
the shot clock because of them.
I was thinking the other day, I was like,
weakest
why don't they
thing.
just play the four corners in
The
high school basketball?
shoot
There's no
free
shot.
throw.
clock.
is.
Shelby does it.
I
Shelby
vividly
gets their head
remember-
You
there.
think of everything that's
Coach
changed.
Holyfield will do it.
The free throws got changed when North Carolina State was fouling everybody. So the ACC has changed a lot of things in the way basketball is played.
It's a basketball conference.
All right, folks, we've got NFL previews due pretty much the rest of the show. I've got my picks on the board. We're going to have the other guys put theirs on the board here in the break. Quick note going to break. Every year that Nick Saban has won the championship, the Patriots have not. And every year the Patriots have won a championship, Saban has not. So, folks, 2019, Saban lost. That means put your money maybe on the Patriots. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. JP, you ready in there? All right, we're ready for a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcast.com.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincolnton will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a new 2019 Buick Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com. When you need service on your automobile, do what I do and what most people around this area do. They take it to Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. They do it all at Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. Rick Walker and his staff is dedicated at providing you the best in automotive care, from an oil change to a tune-up to a full set of tires. Be sure to check out their tire specials before you buy. That's Rick's Automotive, 1001 East Main Street in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. Just call 704-435-3801 for Rick's Automotive in Cherryville. At Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation in Cherryville, it's their passion that makes them different. Their goal is to return their rehabilitation residents home as soon as possible. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation offers 24-hour nursing care, foods prepared on site, private and semi-private accommodation, television and telephone, and even wireless internet. From short-term to long-term care, your care and safety is their top priority. For more information, call and speak with a representative at 704-435-4161 or visit the website at sandstonehealth.com. Carolina Care Health and Rehabilitation, where their passion makes them different.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Now that Kevin is in his seat, he can take it over. Back to you, Kevin.
Got to mute down. Anyway, JP, welcome back to Saturday Sports Talk. Enjoying our Mitchum's Kitchen breakfast. My egg and cheese biscuit, scrumdiddly-om. Just Terry, what you got there? A mouthful. Hunter, what did you have a little while ago?
I did have steak and egg.
Steak and egg. No cheese, just steak and egg?
Just steak and egg.
Steak and egg. Terry, steak and egg. What Carson have today? Steak and egg. Steak and egg. Good grief. Poor Carol's out there having cooked steak for you guys at 6 o'clock in the morning. Bunch of jerks. Look,
oh, my. Wow, Carson, that last one.
Get out to Mitchum's Kitchen today and check them out. We're doing our NFL picks right now. JP's about to do his picks. Just to prove
I'm excited to see this.
How bad of experts we are. So, JP, you could put Chargers, Patriots on the first board in a score. The next board put Colts, Chiefs in a score. Then the next board put Eagles, Saints in a score. Then Cowboys, Rams in a score. And we're going to talk about those while you sit there and watch it. So we're going to talk spreads and bet lines and stuff like that for a minute. Chargers and Patriots. Over-under is 47 points. Spread is Patriots favored by 4. Colts and Chiefs. Over-under. They got the biggest over-under this week at 56. Chargers and Patriots were the lowest.
Let's keep in mind, apparently this game is supposed to be played in snow.
And they got the highest one, so that you might want to bet the under on that.
Maybe.
Eagles at Saints is 51 over-under in the Dome. Nick Foles against Drew Brees. The only football player in NFL history to beat Nick Foles in the playoffs is Drew Brees. Terry, Nick Foles is 4-1 in the playoffs. We want to talk about playoff records all the time. Saint Nick, 4-1. He'll be going to New Orleans.
And the Super Bowl win.
And the Saints are 8-point favorites over the Eagles in a 51-point spread. Cowboys and Rams, over-under is 50 in that game. The Rams in L.A., favored by 7. We're going to finish with that game. We're going to jump all the way back. We're going to go left to right.
I think that the Cowboys-Rams over-under being 50.
JP, you got to write down who the winner is, not just the score.
Otherwise, that just looks like a math problem.
Can you go solve that?
JP, the answer is -49.
Look, y'all just I know nothing about sports.
He wrote -28,
look,
-21.
That's okay. All you got to
to
do is write 2 numbers up there and an acronym.
You're doing
and
good.
That's fine.
And look, you only missed the spread by 1, so dude, you're doing great right now. So keep on.
Yeah, there's no big deal. So you're saying they cover?
Yeah, that's what
saying,
JP's saying.
Are we going to do like a JP thing where we bet on what JP bet? On what, we just go and bet on what JP picks, like people do with like goldfish. They pick one thing. Go with them.
Let's start in New England. Phillip Rivers in New England. The Patriots with the 2 seed. Now, guys, there is a chance that the Patriots, looking at this board, and y'all are going to all hate yourselves once I say this out loud. There's a chance that they could get the 2 seed and only have to play the 5 and the 6 seeds.
Oh, yeah.
The New England Patriots, well, some people say the most fixed, cheatingest organization of all time. If they got the 5 seed today, the Chargers, and if the Colts beat the Chiefs, they'll get to play 2 games at home without the 1 seed against the 5 and the 6 seeds. So there you go for things that just happen to break their way. They're a 4-point favorite in New England. 47 is the over-under. Let's look at some of our picks. I'll start with mine. I've got the Patriots winning 27-20. Like I just said, this is a 5-6 matchup for the Patriots all day long. Is he writing the same thing down on all of them, Terry? JP, there are different numbers in the
JP, you can't just write a C. They're both the Colts and the Chiefs.
He is picking a winner.
I need to know which C you're referring to. Okay.
I mean, we wanted him to try a little bit. We wanted him to try a little bit. The only effort he put into was writing.
Hey, but imagine this. If he gets 1 out of 4 right.
The only effort he put into that was writing. He didn't even put in an effort of changing the scores on any of the things. It was 28-21 on all. So if you want to know JP scores, his over-under is 49 on all the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the spread is 7.
Yeah.
Now watch his picks be closer than Vegas.
I know, right? Are we gonna start giving points now?
Well, JP said 7 points for the Patriots. What did I pick the score? 27-20 Patriots. JP has 28-21 Patriots.
So that's it. Yeah. That's a Price is Right thing. That's a Price is Right bet if I've ever seen it.
That's it.
All right, Terry's got New England by 11. Carson's got New England by 21.
Jeez.
Now remember, I don't know if Carson heard before I said we got here. And this week there's always 3 home teams usually win, 1 away team wins, and then also there's an upset. So you've got to pick an upset too usually. So Carson's going with his blowout win is going to. I mean not an upset. That is an upset. 3 or 4. There's always a blowout is what I meant. So Carson's got his blowout board right now is New England winning over the Chargers 35-14. Now
Phillip Rivers is 0 against Tom Brady.
He's never beat Tom Brady.
Never.
With that fact in mind, Hunter picks Phillip Rivers beat Tom Brady 23-20. What do you got, Hunter?
It's either a pattern or he's
This is what I was going to say.
The non-state fan at the table picks
This is what I was going to say.
Brady.
And then, well, no, look, I love Phillip Rivers. I don't care where he went to college. He's a professional now. I love him in the NFL. He's a dang good quarterback.
9 kids.
He's literally has a football team at home.
I know.
He could line up a football team.
That's how he practices.
That's why they call him Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
His freshman out there call him daddy.
All right. Anyways. All right, Carson. Let's not die.
Oh God.
I have to make my point. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers this year has not lost a away game. They have not lost on the road all year.
Okay.
Phillip Rivers and the Chargers as well have got the better, I'm not going to say coach, but the better roster overall. New England cannot get to a quarterback to save their life. If Bill Belichick's life was on the line and they said, can you get a pass rush in? New England could not do it. Meanwhile, the Chargers can get a pass rush off of it. And what has always gotten Tom Brady, if you can get him moving because he's a Statue of Liberty.
If you can get pressure with 4.
Yeah. And what do they have? They have they got 2 great pass rushers in Ingram, and they also have Bosa. And I would not be surprised if they brought Derwin James in sometimes as on a late blitz. Mm-hmm. To me, on paper, I know that New England, of course, they're almost undefeated at home. It's playoff time. They haven't looked that good all year. I know they locked up the 2 seed. They won their division by a landslide.
They always win their division.
That's what I'm saying. And then everybody...
They missed the 1 seed because Gronk was on the field.
Yeah, that's why. They missed the 1 seed because of Belichick had
literally one
fart.
of the wildest endings to a football game
ever.
Yeah,
the Miami Miracle, whatever they want to call it. Yeah, you're lucky, Miami. You would have lost. But all of this, there's something, and I hear a lot of people throwing around the word team of destiny with the Chargers. Now, I'm not calling them a team of destiny.
Chargers lost 1 game on the road.
I was about to say, they lost 1 game on the road. Who was it to, Denver?
I'm not sure. It's 7-1. But you were close.
I was close. So, well, needless to say, they've been great on the road all year, which is fine because they don't have a true home anyways. Right now. So it's good to see that they can win on the road. I don't know. Something feels different, but, Terry, you said this. And you preach it. You take the team with the better defense. The Chargers have got maybe the second best defense left out of all the playoff teams.
I'm gonna pull that up in a minute. That's interesting. You brought that up. The top five defenses are out. The top 5 defenses are out in the playoffs.
But think about it.
That has almost never happened.
But let's think about it. We're a Cody Parkey field goal away from one of them still being there.
That's true. And I mean overall defenses in the NFL.
Really, you're more of a fingertip.
Well, was it tip? Was it really?
New England is. I'm about to pull it up a second. New England is the highest rated defense still left. Dallas, I think, is second on that. I'm about to pull it up a second just to make sure. But go ahead, Terry.
And see,
New England leads this all-time series 24-15-2, and they've played each other 3 times in the postseason, with New England winning twice. So that's the reason I took New England. It is hard for the other teams to go to New England and win.
Much less when you're a Southern California team going up to
cross
country.
To me, but the Chargers just beat arguably the best defense in Baltimore.
Not in the snow, you did
not. That was a pretty nice day for Baltimore in January.
So
who said it's snowing in New England
I'm
right
tell you
now?
how bad
I know
that
it's
game
supposed to be
is.
snowing in Kansas City.
Yeah, when you went to the fourth quarter, and I know other people, you went to the fourth quarter and you got Jackson on field. It's only thrown for 40 yards. And you're still in the game.
Yeah.
So that fourth quarter he threw for 160.
Well, when in the last one.
Oh yeah, I know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you have benched him? I would have. I'd have
brought
Flacco
I would
in
have.
a heartbeat.
I would have brought
I'd brought him at
Flacco
halftime.
in real for quick.
You can't. It's hard to come back with
a
a running
Super Bowl
quarterback.
winning quarterback sitting on your bench and you do not bring him in. Yeah. So Baltimore, hey, buddy, I'm glad you lost. Great job all year. You went with the rookie quarterback
Ravens
and you
fans.
lost.
Ravens fans, this is my invitation to you.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Cleveland. Y'all just did the same thing the Cowboys did. He just took out a proven quarterback for a rookie in a playoff game, and rookies don't win in the playoffs. It's not going to happen. Pat Mahomes ain't getting out of this bracket, boys.
I agree.
No, I don't think he is, and it has nothing to do with just Pat Mahomes. That defense is awful.
So
Andrew Luck is going to have a field day with his defense.
Honestly, if I'm the Colts, I'm not even worried. I mean, Andrew Luck will probably get his, but Marlon Mack is really what needs to drive the Colts because
they can do that
because think about it. Dee Ford and Justin Houston are really probably your 2 best defensive players for Kansas City. They don't like to play the run.
And when you come into the playoffs, if you have a running team that can waste time and yardage and move down the field, you're better off. Passing teams do not last in playoffs.
So are we shifting over to the Colts and Chiefs right now?
Well, hold on. I got a
Okay.
point from last.
Well, go
before
ahead.
we go any further, I want to make a point on this. Last week's games, and we're really not even going to talk about them really much because we want to get into these games. I want to top preview these. There was 3 games featuring running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
In all 3 games, the running quarterback lost.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that was won was Dak, and he was playing a running quarterback. So going into the weekend, the worst case scenario.
Wait, you consider Russell Wilson a run-first quarterback?
Not now, but
Okay.
he can run. He actually.
Oh no, yeah, he's the smartest runner.
Here's what Russell does, and I have to consider him that because he can. Because one game he'll throw for 300, and the next game he'll throw for 100 and run for 100.
Yeah.
It's he's not consistently.
I
I'm
think
going to
it's
run
the
every
offenses.
game.
I
He's
think
not
it's the
consistently going
OC's
to throw
fault.
every game. I think he's the most diverse of them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to label him at just.
So you're saying he's the best two-way?
Because what I'm going to say on him is, and I've said in the past, he's the only running quarterback that's ever won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You say Steve Young. Steve Young was 30-something when he did and threw 6 touchdowns in that game. And I don't even know if he ran for a yard in that game, Terry. He might not have. But so in the 53 years, only one running quarterback technically has really won it. And then the next year he lost it because the coach called a pass play for him. He's like a dodo.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
speaking of Carroll, they lost by 2 to Dallas, Terry. The kicker blew his leg out and lose by 2 on a kick.
He did blow his leg out.
And
Did you see his
Pete Carroll might be a good motivator. He might be a good recruiter. He's a bad coach. He is a bad
I've said
football
that ever
coach.
since he was at USC.
I mean, the plays, the touchdown thing was in the Super Bowl alone, but some of the plays and things that Dallas' best thing is against the run and got a weak secondary. What was their strategy?
They ran the ball.
They run.
the ball.
What are you doing?
That's the number 1 rushing
Every
team
time
in
Russell
the
Wilson
NFL.
threw it, he was averaging like about 20 yards of completion at some point in that game. I mean, it's just silly.
The end-all stat was they were averaging 8 yards per play through the air and then 2 yards per play on
So
the
running, like I said, running quarterbacks, and they're all out this weekend. And we're going to get down to Terry, except Terry's got one running quarterback left, and he's hanging on for dear life down here.
not for long.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Chargers and Patriots. Those are our picks on that. Colts and Chiefs now. And this ain't good. We all picked.
I know.
We all picked the Colts. Now look who picked the Chiefs in this game. JP.
He's not even paying attention shooting.
The 4 experts at the table. Is there anyone right now that wants to
changing.
run up to the board
And switch to the
and make a
Chiefs?
change before we all sit here and apologize to JP next Saturday?
No, but I will say this, and my pick shows. I mean, I think the Chiefs have a chance to cover. I think they have a chance to cover.
When was the last time the Chiefs won a home playoff game?
Joe Montana.
When was the last time they won a playoff game?
Joe
When's the last
Montana.
time the Colts lost to the Chiefs in a playoff game?
Never. Colts have never lost the Chiefs in the playoffs.
And then we can look at the rookie quarterback. They've never won a playoff.
It's not even
game.
the home game either, Carson. They ain't even won a playoff game since Joe Montana was
Yeah.
there. Like it's just we talk about the Browns never replaced a quarterback and the Dolphins. Well, dang, the Chiefs have had quarterback,
Yeah.
and they still have never replaced Joe Montana.
Andy Reid in the postseason's always been known to choke.
Never replaced.
He
Joe
also has
Montana.
2 weeks, and he's really good when he's at a bye, though.
So
Okay, well,
I mean,
then
I'm just saying.
No, and I understand that he's always good coming off a bye, but don't you think that could also hurt them because they're not, they've been off for so long?
Listen, there's a lot of-
Indianapolis is coming off of really
There's a lot of
shell-shocking
variables.
Texans.
We got snow.
Yeah, there's supposed to
We
be
got a
snow
dome
on the
team going to
ground.
snow, guys. We got Colts and Chiefs. 56 is the over-under on the points in the snow. I've got over on that. Terry's got 55, so he's on the under. Hunter's over at 68, and Carson's way under at 42 in the snow. So the Chiefs are favored by 5.5. We've all picked Indy to win, so there's no
Indianapolis
cover,
is
there's
gonna cover.
no nothing. So we all got Colts winning outright and as 5.5-point underdogs. And JP has 28-21 Chiefs. Now, before I leave here today, if none of y'all are going to change, I might change mine just for posterity's sake, because I'm not going to sit here and be the only one that did not pick why JP sits here and has the victory.
So are you trying to say JP's going to win this bet?
I mean, y'all, when have we ever sat here and picked 4 games exactly right? When does any TV show or any show ever?
Well, no,
sit here and
that's
pick
it.
4?
I listen to a podcast, and they're always like, all right, who are you taking? And then he says his team, and he says, oh, well, I might need to
I'm a
change
good
mine
guy.
because I was going to do that too, and that never works when we both pick at the same team.
No.
So I'm like,
4 people picking the same team.
But no,
the cover is spread. We're not picking the favorites either.
No. Yeah.
All 4 of us just picked the underdog. Terry, why do you think the Colts win?
Why do I think the Colts will?
Yep.
I just think they totally plan, and plus you got a rookie quarterback over there on the Chiefs. That's why I did not go with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will hurt them. I mean, this is a step above and beyond what you played in the regular season.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have to make another alternative because them Indianapolis Colts are going to make another change in how they play. Andrew Luck has made a change in how he's played.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and last week against the Texans, he ate them alive.
Before the season
and
started,
the Texans have got a better defense in Kansas City.
Before the season started, the AFC Championship game, I predicted Chargers Patriots. They meet a week early. Colts and this game is the one where I don't know.
You want to know what's so crazy? The Colts were said to not even make the playoffs.
Right, they started 1-5. I deleted them from my playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
My picks in week 6.
And now they've just caught fire.
Here's the thing, and here's what's funny about that, Terry. Starting 1-5 and come back and make the playoffs. Who's their coach?
Right.
Frank Reich.
Yeah.
The holder of the greatest comeback in NFL and college
31
football
and 32
history.
points.
Frank Reich, the greatest comeback artist of all time, has come back from 1-5. Terry, we've got you guys and all of us have you picked to go to the AFC Championship game.
Well, I guess Tom Senafani said he's with JP, the Chiefs.
He's with JP.
My God, turn your.
I mean,
if that's the case, then I'm very confident in my Indianapolis pick.
I'm probably going to change. Before the end of the show, and we got we got 4 dodos picking a dome team on the road in the snow, and they're down 5.5.
I don't see it as a dodo pick. I don't see it as a. What is the key?
Can't spell dodo without 4 letters. D-O-D-O. Look at that. I don't know, Hunter. All right, let's go to Eagles Saints before we twist ourselves into a
I never got to say
non-no.
why I'm choosing Indy.
I went through and read them all. Oh, you didn't choose?
I just wanted to say,
Hunter, why are you choosing Indy?
Well, this is the real reason. Okay,
by two.
All right, no, by two. Now, in all seriousness, all right, I got 2 reasons. I got two reasons. Andrew Luck's going to absolutely rip this defense apart.
Okay,
and they have the best offensive line, so the pass rush that Kansas City does have is not going to get to Andrew Luck. And the number 2 is, it's what do they say? This is the right time to get hot. Indianapolis Colts have gotten hot. They've caught lightning in a bottle right now, and I'm going to ride with them through it.
The Colts have the better kicker.
They do have a better kicker. They do. They have probably one of the best,
the most proven kicker ever.
I was going to say probably the best kicker of all time.
So that's that game.
In snow, we'll see how that works.
According to us, we've got 7 out of 8 picks say New England versus Indy, and Hunter is the lone Charger versus Indy. So he's got the 5-6 seed matchup in the championship game. You feel good about that?
I actually feel really good about that. Of course, well, we've all picked one, so I know the Indianapolis pick is feeling real good. The Chargers one, I'm not wavering on because I looked at the rosters and I said the better roster might. This thing with New England has got to run out sometime. And it's looking like it's got to be this year. This is the year Tom Brady has been most vulnerable. So this is the best year for the Chargers to jump at them.
And they're still unbeaten at home.
You're right.
All right, Eagles at Saints.
Ooh.
Eagles this year are 4-4 on the road. Of course, Saints 7-1 at home. Saints. Who
did they lose to at home?
Panthers.
Who the Saints?
Oh, that's because they decided to play their second string and third string players.
Christian McCaffrey, since he's been drafted, is 0-4 against Alvin Kamara, who was drafted 2 rounds after him.
Yeah.
So, food for thought there for you McCaffrey fans.
Shows you that you can find a diamond in the rough anywhere.
Well, you can find a running back in the 3rd round, and what I mean is, and we try to say it every year, you have to pick starters in the 1st round at defense and offensive line. First round, if you're not getting either one of those with a quarterback, it's a lot of times it is, and that's what people mean by picking a receiver or running back that high, is that you can get them later and kind of do the same. They're so unpredictable about what they can do. Looking at some of these, looking at this, the top 5 defenses are out of the playoffs. Chicago, Baltimore, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Houston. Actually, the top 6, that is 5 defenses. Dallas is sitting at 6, and New England tied at 20.3 points a game. So we don't have a single defense giving up less than 20 left in the playoffs, and that's just about unheard of, folks. So Dallas, New England, Chargers are all in there. They're giving up 20.6, 20 a game for those 3. Indianapolis is your 4th best defense. Philadelphia 5, New Orleans 6. Who am I missing? And then the Rams is on down here, giving up 24 a game. And then, of course, the Chiefs giving up 26 points a game. So there's some information on how much some of those are scoring. And we've got, let's see, looking over at on the offensive side of the ball. So it's just weird, Terry, we don't have the top 5 defense. Not a single one of them. Keep that perspective, folks. 48 of the 53 Super Bowls have been won by top 12 defense. 45 of the 48 has been won by top 10. So, I mean, the 52 has been won by top 10. Offensive-wise, we still got the top 5 offenses in the NFL. Technically 6 because the Chargers are there tied for 6. So, the top 6 offenses are still alive, Terry. The only so that means New England is 4th and 6th. At home, they might play a 5 and 6 seed. They got to be the favorites right now.
I mean, out of the AFC. I mean, I don't see how you go anywhere else.
Top 6.
And Tom Brady. That's all
and Tom Brady.
And Belichick.
And Belichick.
That's all you go say.
All right, folks, for a break, we got a quick caller on the line, and we will talk to him in just a second before our NFC predictions. We've got Coach Scott Harrell on the line. Last night, big win against Bessemer City. Maybe not. We got him on the line, JP. Did you get him set up? He'll let us know next. Coach Harrell, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's Coach Scott Harrell. He's celebrating a big basketball win last night and a Clemson Tiger win for Monday. This has been a pretty good week for you, Coach.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that the other week. It was a good week.
You got championships and winning last night. You guys swept Bessemer City last night, and as always, you want to talk a little bit about the girls first?
Yeah, they're playing really good right now. Their guard play's got a lot better, and Avery Grace Walker's back. Maggie Barnes is back. Both of them been injured some early, but they're back and they're playing good. They're 2-0 in the conference, so we're proud of those girls.
Big game last night with the Yellow Jackets. You guys came out victorious there with Danny and Milton had the call. I was up at Kings Mountain, so I didn't get to hear all of it. You want to kind of give a little quick synopsis for me, I guess, and some of our fans on how the game went last night?
Yeah, Bessemer jumped out 6-0 right in the first 2 minutes of the game. And then we came back and got some good defensive turnovers there in the first quarter and jumped up to a 10-point lead by the end of the first quarter. Matt Kane had some tremendous defense and a couple good backdoor cuts that our point guard, Levante Hughes, hit him on some backdoor setups, and that got things going. And Lane hit 3 threes there in a kind of in an early period. So, we got the defense going to the offense, so we was able to push a lead out to 10 and then up to 14 by halftime. So it was a good night offensively and defensively last night.
Looking real quick ahead, I know you don't look too much ahead, but you guys 13-2 overall here in the conference. You got Lincoln Charter coming up this week. Everybody says, and you've said in the past, probably the best team in the conference. How you guys matching up with those guys this year?
Well, you never know till you get into it. They're stout. They're very good. But I like the way we played last night. I like the way we played last Friday night. Now, Tuesday night we had a little hiccup down at Piedmont Charter. We just kind of lost focus. Didn't have much intensity on the road. And Piedmont Charter played a great game. They were 18 for 22 shooting in the second half, and they just ran us out of the gym Tuesday night.
Well, they got a pretty good record right now. They put something together down there this year.
Oh yeah, they've got some new kids into the program, and they're playing really well. Well,
Coach, you'll be at Highland Tech as well. Then Thomas Jefferson, Sugar Creek coming up this next week. We're gonna have you guys next week against Highland Tech. Lane had a big night last night. We'll talk about some of the scores last night after he had 33 last night to lead you guys.
Yeah, that's a career high for him. I think him and his mama's been wanting to. He had tied my career high of 31 several times, and
you got to take him out at 31.
Well, I know, but when the game's fairly close in the fourth quarter, and he's gone 9 for 10 shooting free throws in the fourth quarter, you kind of like him in the game. But yeah, I'd had no clue he had 33, or Coach might have had to pull a dad card and pull him out, so we'd have still tied him.
I was wondering about that. You can't let him.
Come on, Coach. It's got to be about pride sometimes. Come here, son. Sit beside me. I'm gonna teach you about coaching.
I gotta go live with Mama at home, and then I got a Mama and Papa that's on Lane's side too. I'm an odd man out.
You
gotta
hear about that the rest of your life now.
I do.
Well, congratulations to him. He'll remember that and love that the rest of his life. And especially against Bessemer City, too. I know that means a lot to you, and the rivalry win, too, as well for Lane.
You know, it was a great rivalry game. Levante Hughes, that point guard, he had 19 points and 9 assists. I mean, I can't brag on how much he leads our team on the court. He never came out. He played all 32 minutes. And, you know, he's just a sophomore, but he's got great court awareness out there. And then Bessemer, they play hard. And for a rivalry game, a lot of mutual respect on the court. After the game, both teams giving each other hugs on the court. I mean, they both left it out there on the floor. And, you know, it's a good rivalry game, but at the end of the day, a lot of sportsmanship and mutual respect by both teams.
Well, Coach, congratulations, and good luck this week. We'll have you guys next week on WCSL, Milton. And Tim, you want to say roll tide or anything for any of your Alabama friends?
Yeah, anybody need a roll tide there. Those Tigers look pretty good in that national championship.
Well, congratulations on a good week, and have an even better weekend, Coach.
All right, Kevin. Appreciate it. Good to see Milton and Danny back up there in the crow's nest. I'm sure it was a little warm up there in Nixon Gym, but we always love having them out there.
It was warm at Burns last night, too. I mentioned you and the gang last night. We're probably about as warm as they are down in Nixon right now. We were me and Philip Russ was sweating last night up in Burns. So I know how Danny felt last night.
Good times.
All right, Coach.
Y'all guys have a great weekend. Stay out of the weather.
All right, good weekend, too, Coach. Have a good weekend.
Coach. See you.
All right,
bye-bye.
That's Coach Scott Harrell, the Cherryville Ironman. Like I said, they'll be hosting Lincoln Charter this week. For you folks in Cherryville, you want to see some good basketball, that'd be a good game. See Lane shoot. Lane can shoot the lights out. He's one of those kids. Give him any room, type of room, he can get a shot off, and he gets it off. Cherryville girls last night, big win, 47-20 win. JP, turn that phone line off. You turn the phone line off? There you go. Maybe, I don't know. Cherryville 47-27. Let's go to a break. We'll be right back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a new 2019 Buick Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
It's game day. The energy pulsates through the arena. Adrenaline pumps. Tension heightens. Anticipation peaks. The crowd rises. It's finally time. The whistle blows and the ball goes up. Don't blink.
Pulls up for the tie. Yes, sir. 4.1 to go.
Game day lives here on the Tar Heel Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services on WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM. It's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincolnton. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on the Boss and Carolina Country.
Tee it up and let it fly at the Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's best course. Ride and play Monday through Friday for just $28. Play and ride after 12 for $25. On weekends and holidays, play and ride for $38 and afternoon for only $28. Seniors 55 and older play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. And Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride on Mondays for $18. The Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, located on 255 Lincoln Academy Road in Gastonia.
Some people don't know what a credit union is. It's not a secret club. In fact, the only secret about a credit union is that it's better than a bank. Carolina Federal Credit Union offers the area's best rates, lower fees, and better service.
I'm not just a number, I'm a member.
My credit union helped me get financially fit.
Our credit union helps our family out every day.
My credit union.
My credit union.
My credit union
is
Carolina Federal Credit Union.
Contact Carolina Federal Credit Union today and learn the secret firsthand.
Guess I can turn our mics up here, right here.
Might help.
Yeah, Terry, Chiefs, GC defense 24th.
Somebody sent me a text about there goes Terry's defensive stats, and I'm like,
Super Bowl ain't over yet, is it, Terry?
Well, I mean, I took the Colts. Their defense is way better than the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way better than the Chiefs.
Now remember, this is what I'm saying. Just because the top 5 defenses aren't still alive doesn't mean there's not top 12 defenses still alive.
That's what I'm saying.
45 of the 53 Super Bowls have been won by a top 12 defense. If you're going to make that bet, you're betting on Dallas, you're betting on the Patriots, you're betting on the Chargers, Colts, and Eagles.
And the only reason
5
I
teams still in the top
is on
12.
account of it's tough for
And,
any team.
but let's
to go
not
to
snub. I mean, New
New
Orleans is
Yeah,
only
because they
one-
bug
New
your
Or-
hotel.
New Orleans is 3/10 of a point.
Yeah.
New Orleans is 3/10 of a point out of 12,
You never know how
so they're
many
not that far
plays
out.
They've already got stashed.
Yeah, they already know. Well, yeah, what they know about you.
So are we betting? Looking at the board, we got Terry taking St. Nick, and Terry is Skip Bayless over here. He wants Eagles.
He wants Eagles
in Dallas.
Yeah.
Because he knows he don't want to go to New
Well,
Orleans.
I'm gonna tell you the reason that I took them. The reason that we get into Eagles and Saints, and I did take the
Real
Eagles.
quick, 51 is the over/under. Saints favored by 8. Go ahead, Terry.
And I took the Eagles 27-21.
Straight up.
Back then, when they played Game 1, it was Wentz against the Saints. They got embarrassed.
That was the game that really turned the season around for the Eagles. I
Yes,
think.
it was. I mean, they got embarrassed on there. And this time,
They had
with
their feelings
Foles
hurt,
at
yep.
the helm, this game will be totally different. The Philadelphia defense will show up this time, and things will be a lot tougher on Saints. Now, do I think the Saints can win? Yeah, I think they can. But I think Philadelphia, the way, and I'm like one of the worst ones because I don't want to play Philadelphia neither back in Dallas. But for Philadelphia could win again this week, that would be scary. Them even going to Dallas next week because you start thinking, I don't care who you are, Philadelphia, but Foles is your starter no matter what you think in a Wentz, you know.
Well, Terry, I think you got the score right. I think you got the wrong way around, maybe. And here's what I put the score 30-22, Saints 8-point cover. Now, 27-21, Terry. It's funny you put that score. I just went and looked at the average scores of these teams, and if you did the averages out, the score would be 27-21. Saints winning the game, not Eagles. So you may have nailed the score. You nailed the score on the averages, actually. You didn't get on the right team. Hunter, this is your blowout.
This
Saints
is my
big
blowout,
time
yeah.
over Eagles. Me and Carson's got within a score. Like I said, Nick Foles is 4-1 in the playoffs. He hasn't got beat by anybody but Drew Brees, and I think ever since they lost that game last year, when that Matador cornerback dropped his head and tackled the 50-yard line instead of the player,
Saints
that
are on a
Drew
mission.
Brees and the guys have been on a mission. And
They're on a
played that
mission,
way.
and Sean Payton pulling that stunt he pulled this week, bringing the Lombardi Trophy
Whose
in there.
money was that? That's what I want.
Probably his.
Was that
It's
his?
probably
Let's be
his. He
real.
brought it in there. I'm surprised one of them didn't try. I said, I'm gonna get a little bit of that. But he had four
I got
you.
armed guards. You didn't see
He
what Sean
brought
Payton
a
did?
wheelbarrow full of money.
$225,000.
That's
the player bonus.
That's the player share for winning the Super Bowl and the Lombardi Trophy. And said, "You guys win it, effing win 3 games."
Really?
He said if
Win
you
three
want,
games.
You want
win
this?
3 effing more games. That's what he said. He said if you want it.
I think Greg Williams and him kind of fit when he was there, and they had to get.
And now Greg Williams, what? He's head coach up at the Jets.
No,
or is he defensive coordinator?
He's gonna be defensive. He's somebody. He was begging for a job at last week when he got beat.
He's DC,
he was
that's
hugging
right. They just
Jim.
got
He was
somebody
hugging
else.
Jim Harbaugh there at the midfield and whispered in his ear. He knew he was going and probably in Cleveland. But Saints, I've got
let
them
me
by
bring
8.
Bounty
Terry's,
Gate 2.0.
Terry's got Eagles by 6. Hunter's, this is his blowout, and Carson by 4. Hunter, why is this your blowout?
This is my blowout, mostly because this offense, like, the roster is still the same for the Eagles and New Orleans. The only difference is you got Nick Foles back there. You've got a motivated Saint Nick. Okay, you've got Darren Sproles is back. That's an extra weapon. But New Orleans, we're not. I can't shy away from the fact that they're at home. If this was at the Eagles, I would say, yeah, this could be anybody's game. But this is New Orleans in the Dome. And besides them playing some second and third string players against Carolina at the end of the year because they knew they were locked in for the 1 seed, they should be undefeated at home. That's the same reason you're taking New England. But you took the Eagles, which I understand. I can see it why everybody's riding high on the Nick Foles, fairy magic he's got right now. I know. No matter what he's doing, it's working right now. But I saw what the Saints did to that defense. I know Carson Wentz didn't help because he didn't put any points up for him, but I saw what the Saints offense did to that defense. And people forget, the Eagles are a field goal away from not even being here.
That's true.
And Mitch Trubisky lit that secondary up. And they couldn't really run the ball. Well, the Saints are balanced both ways, and this is Drew Brees throwing the ball now. So I don't know. This being my blowout might be a little. I had to pick one of them to be a blowout to go with what Kevin kind of said.
You.
What?
Well,
no,
that's the way
just the facts.
No, just going like. Well,
he actually picked 2 blowouts.
I did pick two blowouts. I did pick. Well, I don't know if you consider that one.
Well, the
blowout.
spread's 7. You win by 13.
Okay,
that's
yeah, it is a
blowout.
But now, could I see New Orleans scoring a little bit more just because of Nick Foles? Yeah, but do I still think the Saints are going to hang 35 or more on them? Absolutely.
Terry, what's your score up there? 27-21?
Yeah.
What's JP's score?
28-21.
You're right on schedule with JP, Terry.
He chose the Eagles, too.
Terry said, JP, if you want him to start getting scores and telling his opinions, Terry, he said he'll go.
God, even on the last one, we don't even want to get to that.
Good God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I picked the same thing pretty much.
Look, I just picked 2 numbers and put them up there.
I put them up there, and then I put them up there again, and then I put them up there one more time.
You did exactly what we wanted.
So
you to
Eagles
do.
beat the
That's
Bears.
what
I think you've been listening in here these last few weeks, and you said I'm going with him.
Don't go with
Eagles and Bears game. I did want to point out that people need to stop blaming the kicker.
Yes.
It was blocked. He had made 3 field goals because the offense couldn't score anyway.
Exactly.
He would have had an extra point if the coach wasn't dumb and went for a 2 early in the game anyway. So if you're going to blame anybody, I would blame the coach, and I would blame the quarterback who threw 17 incompletions.
Cody Parkey missed 11 kicks on the season. How he still had a job going into this game is a mystery.
Yeah.
But that's neither here
coaching.
nor there.
That's still coaching.
The fact that they got rid of who was the kicker there forever? Robbie Gould.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He only missed 3 field goals all year for the 49ers.
And now Parkey missed 11 and a crucial one.
Like I always say about kickers, you don't blame the kickers. Your quarterback's fault. The kickers out there.
Yep.
Right. It's the quarterback's
I think
fault.
it was
your
more of
kickers
a
out
time thing, but
if he threw it all the way into the end zone, hey, I've got Tech win Super Bowl, and if you got Joe Montana, you can drop back like 20 yards and throw it 90. They can't do that in real life.
Kind of broken, isn't it?
No.
Pat Mahomes,
Jamarcus Russell, maybe.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so we've got there's the Eagles Saints picks. Now let's move on to Terry's
Fine, no more picks.
Week.
No more picks. There's no more games to really care about.
Like I said, last week running quarterbacks were 1-3. Rookie quarterbacks don't win the NFL. Rookies lost all last year. They've lost all this year. About to lose again. Running quarterbacks last week, Terry, Cowboys win by 2 at home. Mm-hmm. In that game, the other team's kicker's leg fell off before halftime.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm sorry he had to kick something out of his range.
That is not nowhere near out of his range.
No. The man's range. The man blew his leg out.
His range was 68, he said, before the game, and his leg blew out.
The big D. You're not going to kick something out that
his leg blew out on a 57-yarder. And he would have made it if it had been 10 feet to the left. He still kicked it far. He still kicked it far enough.
His face kills me after. I know it's an awful injury, but my God, his face. He took a step. He was like,
That's like the definition of being sniped, ain't it?
Yeah.
He got sniped from somewhere.
Jared Jones paid somebody
in
for
the
that.
middle of the kick. But I mean, when a hamstring pops out there, that's the kind of you feel like you've been shot. Not like you got one in the boot. You've been Forrest Gumped, if you know what I mean. If you've ever had a hammy pop like that.
But in this game coming up,
wait a minute, Terry, shut up. I ain't through. Now they needed a kicker to miss a field goal. They needed Pete Carroll to coach dumb. They needed Dak Prescott to run for 3 first downs. They needed 3 pass interference calls, 2 on the last drive for Dak to even score. So with all that at home, with needing all the calls, coaching. You need the quarterback running for first downs and diving. That's what he did against the Saints. He dove for 2 first downs and they got it in a
get outside of the pocket and let Ndamukong Suh near you this time.
So that's Terry. You're talking last on this. I'm going to Carson first on this. So you can do all your talking and say it. Okay. With all that said, they won by 2 at home.
And see, they won by 2 at home, and I just want to reiterate this against a one-dimensional running offense.
Seahawks team.
You don't understand. That's Jason Garrett football.
How many? Again.
This is Jason Garrett football.
What was the final score in that game? 22.
24-22.
NFL average is 24. You hold the team under 24. That's all the defense had to do, and they won.
Yeah.
Listen.
It ain't it.
Ezekiel Elliott, once again, 100-something yards. Cowboys win. Dak Prescott's like 35-3 when Zeke gets 100 yards. Okay, it's not or 20-3, whatever it is. It's really, really good. And when Zeke gets 100, now
Carson's waiting.
Yeah, Cowboys got Travis Frederick out at center. Mm-hmm. I got a couple of bums at guard and tackle on the right side. Rams against Cowboys offense. Their strategy. How do you feel? Are you scared? You've got on the board Carson. Got the Cowboys putting points on the Rams, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Carson feels less confidence in his Rams than me and Hunter do.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's part because the defense hasn't really, I ain't going to say tried or, I don't know. Terry says jail. I don't know what they've been doing. It's like
get Akeem Talib back.
They started 11-1.
Yeah.
So let's remember this. They started 11-1, and then they coasted. Now they've got a bye week. They've got Goff in the game. He's still looking for his first victory. Mm-hmm. Do they win it at home with maybe a majority Cowboys fans in the house? Carson's got the Rams winning by 3.
The thing that I need the Rams to do is not give up on Todd Gurley too early. That's what they did last year in the playoffs.
Bad.
They gave up on him way too early. I think.
Real quick, I do got one more point. Yeah. Cowboys are the worst defense, Terry, in the NFL against play-action passing. The Rams do more play-action passing than any team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Go. Sorry, that was one more stat I forgot to give before I left.
Wait.
There you
go. The thing about Dallas is, they're really good. They're a really good running team. The Rams are really bad at stopping the run. But the thing about that is, if the Rams do get to scoring and you're a running team, that almost plays into the hands of the Rams because, the Rams will be in front, and the Cowboys will have a lot of time in possession, but it's going to take you so long to get down the field and score. That would be my only thing if I'm a Cowboys fan that I'm worried about is the fact that, you've got Amari Cooper, but I haven't seen their offense have a quick strike offense really. They haven't moved the ball fast.
Every game they've played, they've won the time of possession.
They win time of possession, and that's perfect. That's a really good strategy. That makes perfectly good sense. But that's the only reason I would worry is that the offense is so slow. On the other side of the ball, if Dak Prescott does get out and like you're talking about that middle of the line is banged up and not playing great, and you're going up against the best defensive player in football, another really good defensive lineman in Ndamukong Suh, and an underrated third lineman in Michael Brockers, you've got Dante Fowler Jr. coming off the end. So, if the Rams do get out in front and Jason Garrett pulls a Sean McVay from last year and gives up on the run too soon, I would worry about Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott does like to get out of the pocket and try and extend plays, but that's almost playing into the hands of the Rams.
And
At least on the front.
Your
at least on the front
secondary
end.
is going to play better because Talib is back.
That's big. That's
gonna
really
take some
big because
pressure off
the
Peters.
best way they play is you let Aqib Talib be one-on-one with somebody. Marcus Peters last year in Kansas City, I think 90% of his picks or something like that came when he had safety help over the top, and that's what you're going to be able to give him if you let Aqib Talib play one-on-one on the other side. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you got to say. All right. I do think this is going to be one great game because Dallas leads the all-time series 17-16. They've played each other 8 times in the playoff, and it's
The last time it was, what, in the mid-'80s? Vince Ferragamo?
Hold on. I'm glad you brought that up. What was the score in the last time they played, Terry? Do you know?
Rams won.
Yeah, easy.
28-0.
Yeah, but we in Dallas.
Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson, set the playoff rushing record.
249 yards.
Again, they're 4-4 in playoffs.
The last time the Rams hosted a game in L.A. was the Cowboys, and they beat them too.
Again, they're 4-4 in the playoffs.
You're counting the 60s.
You know, but
really.
To me, here's my deal.
Most of those
the
players.
last time they played was the 80s, Terry. You're definitely counting.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Tradition never dies.
But you're speaking of Dallas. My theory on that: how many points do the Chiefs give up?
Chiefs?
Okay, I mean not the Chiefs, but the Rams.
Close enough.
28.
I got the stats on that. Chiefs, and here's funny on the spread, Terry. How Vegas comes up with this. Rams average 33 a game, give up 24. Cowboys average 21 a game, give up 20.
There you go.
Cowboys' margin of error is 1 point. Rams 9 points. Now, if you do the math and do them together, so that would mean the Cowboys are going to score 23 in this game, and the Rams 27. What does that add up to? 50? What's the over/under on the board?
50.
Math. Quick math.
There's your Vegas math right there, folks. Vegas is predicting somewhere around in there the same right at the 27-23. So Terry, how can the Cowboys win this game? I don't think anybody's saying they're going to win by 10 or 20.
When the Cowboys offense and anything can score 20 points, they are 10-0. Rams are not going to be able to stop them. How's the Rams going to stop them? Dallas's defense is going to be good enough for Dallas to score enough points to win the game. And that's going to be a total difference. And you talk about leading rushers in the NFL, which Dallas has the leading rusher in the NFL.
You just said if Dallas scores 20, they're going to win the game. That means you have full 100% confidence the Rams ain't getting 20. The number two,
I gave them 27.
Two offense in the league averages 33.
But again, if Dallas scores 28, they scores 27, it is still going to be 11-0 when Dallas offense scores 20 or more points. I mean, they're still going to win the game. And then when you talk about leading rushers, there's only
Dallas is 3-5 on the road this year.
4 times that an NFL leading rusher has made it to the Super Bowl and won, and 3 of them was Emmitt Smith back in the early 90s. The only other one was Terrell Davis, done it for Denver. Those are the only times. Ezekiel Elliott's going to make his point. He's going to get there. Dak Prescott can do so much, whether he runs, whether he passes. That's what's fulfilling him now, because now Armani Cooper has made it so easy for him not to throw deep, but he can take off running now, or he can hit Beasley over the top, or he can hit Gallup now. Dallas's whole total offense is way better than what they was at the start of the year. And if you want to mention who have they played, well, okay, Philadelphia did go to L.A. and beat them. Dallas beat Philadelphia twice. So Dallas is going to go to L.A.
They went to L.A. L.A. was not L.A. wasn't running Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley is not better, y'all. And if you think he's better, we showed.
What are you talking about? He's not better.
Gurley was running the other day, and he was still limping. And they say he's ready. Okay, that's good.
Oh, I thought you meant not better than Ezekiel Elliott. I was like, dude, past 2 years he's had 40 touchdowns.
Who?
Todd Gurley.
Okay,
he's had 40 touchdowns.
He gets the ball when it's 3rd and 1 from the 1 yard line.
Hey, he's a touchdown machine. Ezekiel Elliott's only had 18.
Ezekiel Elliott's led the NFL rushing 2 out of the 3 years he's been here.
Okay, what's the game about? Points or yards? Points. It's about points.
Well, if you want to go to time consuming, Dallas is going to have the ball way more than L.A. going to have.
Well, not if L.A., like Carson said, not if L.A. gives up on Todd Gurley early.
I mean, we saw Dallas when they had the daggone ball in overtime against Phil, almost waste 10 minutes coming down the field.
Yeah. Todd Gurley scored 11 more touchdowns than
did.
Ezekiel Elliott
That does
this
not
year.
mean anything to me.
Todd Gurley, that's 3.
That means nothing.
And when I say 11, I mean it's 17-6. Like, it's almost 3 times
So-
more. Put it this way: Todd Gurley had 17. Number 2 in the NFL was Nick Chubb. No, Derrick Henry had 12. Let's say Barkley had 11. Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott combined had 17.
Okay, so what does
Todd
that
Gurley
mean?
had 17.
And see, look, how many games did Todd Gurley not play this
Todd
year?
Gurley has
two.
Todd
He
Gurley
missed
has
two,
a better
and he's
yards per
third.
average than Ezekiel. Better yards per average and 11 more touchdowns.
He's third in, what is that, yards? Third in yards and missed
He
the
would have
final
played the last 2 games.
I'm
yeah.
going to read all the
And in the last 2 games, C.J. Anderson had a 130-yard
He
rushing
would
game.
have still
Watch
not have
this.
beat Zeke and Russell.
I'm going to read all the players who had
Zeke
more.
didn't even play the last game, so I don't even hear about your 2 games to 1 game
Okay.
deal.
Barkley, Gurley,
We beat him
Mixon,
by 300 yards.
Carson, McCaffrey, Henry, Peterson, Lindsey, Chubb, Connor, David Johnson, Jordan Howard, Marlon Mack, Melvin Gordon, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, who only played how many games?
3 or 4.
Aaron Jones, Josh Allen. All of those had more rushing touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott.
Dude, Josh Allen. Don't sleep
Terry,
on Josh Allen.
When Emmett won the Super Bowl, he scored 25 rushing touchdowns a
He
game.
had a better offense. Dallas's offense has not proven herself all year long. Y'all know
You're
that.
proving our point.
But that ain't what I'm saying. He still led the NFL in rushing.
Josh Allen has
As
2 more
bad
touchdowns.
as Dallas was supposed to be, Ezekiel Elliott led the NFL in rushing.
Hey, look, AP's on the board.
That's all I got to say. Stats speak for themselves.
Is that South
Who's
Point?
number 1?
I didn't know who's number 1 in yards. I know who's number 1. Philip Lindsay averages 5 yards a carry. Nick Chubb 5.2. Christian McCaffrey. Terry, you can't brag because you got the most carries in the NFL and you got the most yards.
304 attempts.
There's only one running back in the whole league got 300 carries. You got 40 more carries than the next guy.
Okay.
You should have more yards.
He is our leading man, and that when you go into the game, that's what they already talking about. Can the Rams stop him?
You're right. You're 100% right because the quarterback ain't worth a darn. So all they got to do is stop that.
Ever since he made the NFL, he's the second winningest quarterback in the NFL, only behind Tom Brady. Ain't no Breeze, ain't no Luck, ain't nobody, ain't no Watson, ain't nobody else.
Since Dak come in the league, Nick Foles is 4-1 in the playoffs. So who's better?
Who's the best team in the NFC?
You just said winner. So I just said Nick Foles is 4-1 since Dak.
And
so is Nick Foles better than Dak Prescott?
And Ezekiel
Nick Foles better than Dak Prescott?
Dak is 4-2 against Philadelphia.
Terry, in the NFC right now, who's the worst quarterback?
In the NFC?
Left in the playoffs.
The worst quarterback? Mm-hmm. Goff.
Carson, you want to comment on that?
No.
Hunter?
No, I'm good.
Hunter?
I'm going to save my piece.
Goff.
We've run over anyway.
Wait and see if Sunga don't throw at least 2 or 3 interceptions.
We're so
today.
sorry. But those are our picks. Here we go. I got Kevin says 33-17 Rams. I got 16. This is my blowout victory. Terry's got a 1-point Cowboys win, so he's so convicted on that Ezekiel Elliott rushing, they're going to win by 1. Hunter's got a 13-point LA win.
Yeah.
And Carson's got a 3-point LA win. And, of course, JP has 28-21.
Yeah.
He's got Cowboys. So before the show's over, I'm gonna change my Indy pick. I didn't think I was gonna I'm not picking that.
With
Ain't no way.
In your heart. Okay, in your heart, who do you think's gonna win the game?
In your heart of hearts.
They're playing at home. Okay, if I close my eyes,
sit here and
you
tell
said
me in
dome,
your heart. You can't
snow. I didn't know it was going. I looked at the weather report just a few minutes ago. It says St. Louis is going to be the heart of the snowstorm this
That's
weekend.
the opposite side of the state.
Yeah, just 200 miles left or whatever. It's not that far away. So you got a dome team going outside. I've got 4 people picking Indy and one not. And then, I mean, are any of the other things on the board? All 4?
No. So why you got to be scared of this one?
Because we're 4 dodos picking the underdog
unison
in the snow.
We go into this unison.
Idiots.
You've already put your score up there. That's where you're.
I was about to say you've already put it up there.
Yeah.
There's no need in changing.
Colts. JP. What are we gonna do next? Okay, if
Colts
the
are
Chiefs
4-0
win,
all time against
just next week. All right, folks. If I can't change my thing,
yeah.
Next week when we talk football, JP gets to sit in here and you're spot hunter because you talked me out of it.
Okay.
For 5 minutes, and he gets to
Talk about whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants.
Dear
That's
God.
fine.
We're
That's
not
fine. Me and
talking
JP
about
will switch
no.
for 5 minutes.
Okay. If that happens, it will be a very interesting sports talk.
That's not
because I will talk for 5 minutes.
Hunter don't make
Not
the
about
rules.
sports.
Hunter don't make the rules. You're going to talk for 5 minutes about the damn Colts winning that, the Chiefs winning that game is what you're going to talk
Yeah,
about.
because you're going to watch that game.
You're going to have to give us a scouting report on why the Chiefs won.
And if they're going to win the Super Bowl. Because
You
we need to
realize
know
I'm
these
just
things.
going to talk nonsense about it. and
That's
just
why I
try and
wanted to
give you
change
a
my pick.
rough
That's why I want to change my
overview.
pick, and these fellas won't let
No,
me.
No, yeah, that's locked in. You can't erase that.
All right, we got to go here in a minute. Real quick, I do want to make
It
some
was
notes.
permanent marker. Fools on you.
NBA this week. Hornets will be at home Thursday against the Kings. They've been on a road trip that's just decimated them. I think they got stomped last night by Portland. But we'll talk about more of that next week after I go to. We'll go to this Kings game and talk a little bit about that. They fall into the 8th spot in the East. Terry, there's only 5 teams above 500.
Yeah, and Utah, they're going to close within a game of the Lakers.
There's 15 teams in the East.
Yeah,
Only
let
5
me
of
say
them
this. I
are
wanna say
above
this.
500.
This is how much that we talk about who's the best player. For L.A., and all questions are aside, nobody can ever say anything. I don't give a darn if it's Curry, Durant, or whoever. All them guys are together. But a guy who leaves the Lakers and turned them around to be the 4th best team in that West, and all of a sudden, is the rest of the teams that good? No, maybe not. But he had them at number 4. They have fell all the way to number 8 for going 3-6 without him.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden now Utah's within a game of taking that spot on. You know, as soon as LeBron comes back, that team's going to be that much better. That just shows how much he means on the field, on the court, as anybody. He is the best NBA player out there, no questions asked.
Well, see, Terry's wrong because Kevin Durant is no questions asked.
Kevin Durant has
Toronto.
Curry, and he's got Thompson. He's got all kind of help.
That doesn't mean he's not any good because he's got help.
Yeah, he's got all kind of help. Makes him good.
You quit.
He was nobody until he went to Golden State.
Terry
Carson.
Terry, he was
Quit
the
pointing
number
at me.
4 all-time leading scorer, and he made a finals, and he won a
He didn't win
gold
nothing
medal.
until he got over with them other guys to help him.
Okay, nobody's ever won. What happened here? All of a sudden, Terry just jumped on LeBron's bandwagon. For
Anyway.
being
That's
the,
like
for being the 8th seed.
Shaquille helped Kobe.
Watch
Kobe
this.
never would have won his first one.
All right, real quick. LeBron James, this is what we'll talk about his help. One point. The original Cleveland Cavaliers. Y'all remember them? When they went to the finals.
Larry Hughes, Mo Williams.
When they got beat.
Boobie Gibson.
You remember that, Terry? He had Zdrunas Ilgauskas on his team and Mo Williams on his team.
Yeah.
Don't forget Boobie Gibson.
Now remember,
But Zdrunas
I'm not mentioning Miami Heat players.
None.
I'm not mentioning Kevin Love,
No.
Kyrie.
No,
I'm not
I know where
mentioning
you're
any of
going with
those.
this, and I agree.
In Michael Jordan's career, he played with only one teammate in his career that made an All-Star team. Scotty. Rodman never made an All-Star while his teammate. Orlando Woolridge didn't in the 80s. None of them made an All-Star team while Michael Jordan's teammate. LeBron had more All-Star teammates with the Zdrunas and Mo Williams than Jordan ever played. We didn't even got to Miami. We didn't even got to the fact he got smoked by Dirk Nowitzki and no other All-Stars.
Come on.
Exactly.
They were All-Stars.
Terry, I'm giving you that's how bad the point is. I'm making a point that he had All-Stars from the first. He had more All-Stars on his first championship that he got beat in than Jordan ever had in his career total.
Those guys combined could never make up for a Westbrook.
Okay, what does that got to do with anything? What I'm saying is one All-Star versus 2. Then he went to Miami. He had 3 All-Stars, and he got beat by one All-Star in Dirk. One All-Star. Smoked him. Him and the whole team, 4-1.
They smoked him, and little J.J. Barea was out there. Little man.
Durant, in his career, is 2-1 against LeBron.
Carson.
Right?
That's not pointed at you, don't worry about it.
What did you do with that?
Wait a minute. No, Terry. When how many All-Stars does Golden State have?
How many All-Stars do they have?
They could be 6.
They got 3.
Well, that's right. Well, Green is one of them, too.
LeBron's had 3 All-Stars on his team, didn't he, last year?
Yeah.
Him and Kevin Love and Kyrie. I mean,
or the year before. For
every
Kyrie.
year he's always had 2 All-Stars and they lose. So I mean, you can't say he hadn't had help. That's the most ridiculous point of all time that he hadn't had help. Now in LA, he's got a bunch of scrubs on the team.
He does have a
That's the point. Now Brandon Ingram and him don't mix up because they play the same position. I don't think it's fair to Brandon. Brandon's way better than I
They
think.
talk all
he
this
is.
talk about trading for Anthony Davis. If I'm the Pelicans, I say we won't do it unless Brandon Ingram is
That's
involved
true too.
in the trade.
I would definitely put.
He had because what you're doing is a disservice to Brandon Ingram. I've seen the kid play. The kid's got game. It's just okay. Let him flourish somewhere else if you're not going to use him. I mean, what kind of threat are the Pelicans still? If you know you're getting Anthony Davis and you just giving them Brandon Ingram and maybe another piece of your young core, well, you're trying to go old and win now anyways. So what's the deal in breaking?
Carson, are the Hornets going to hold on to this playoff spot? It's not looking great right now.
Right now, they're in a rut.
Look at the people behind them. Pistons got Blake Griffin. Wizards got some stars. I mean, they've got people.
Well,
right
John
behind
Wall's not playing for the rest of the year.
Well, that's
went
true.
and had
too.
heel
But
surgery.
Washington's
idiot.
all of a sudden winning.
But Bill
I
School,
think that makes their plans pretty obvious. You got to get rid of John Wall.
You're moving Bradley Beal.
well, Terry, we're looking at this those top 5 teams in the East real quick before we get out of here. That there's only 5 teams with winning records.
Mhm.
2 of those teams, Sixers and Celtics, got losing road records.
They do.
So we're only looking at 3.
Yeah, 76ers lost to the Hawks
quality
last night.
Ben Simmons called him out after that and said
Yeah,
we're
said-
soft.
yeah.
I think we're looking at Raptors, Warriors, and don't even have to worry about anything else going forward. As long as nobody gets hurt on either one of them, I think that's what we're looking
I
at.
don't count out the Nuggets. I know that's crazy. But there's a reason why they're a 1 seed in the West for a reason. I mean,
Because Steph Curry missed 5 games.
No, I
in
want
6
you to be
games.
honest. Think about it. There's a reason, like, out of all the stars that are in the West, there's a reason why Denver right now is sitting number 1. And
Let me
even
tell
if
you
they
why
weren't, they
they're
would be
not.
2.
Let me tell you why they have no chance of beating Golden State.
Okay, tell me. I mean,
They don't have
got
a
a good
they don't
player
have a
in
single
Kyler Murray.
They don't have a
No,
single
not
player.
that one
Kyler
Murray.
Murray.
Not Kyler Murray. What's that Murray's
They don't have
last
a-
name?
Jamal.
They don't have a
Murray.
single player
Jamal
averaging
Murray.
20 points, and they're going to beat Durant and Curry.
Sounds like the Hawks from a couple years ago.
Defense.
Defense. Since we're on NBA, I want to mention one more thing that's and it's starting to get even worse as we go further in the NBA season. The calls that the refs are making. Come on, guys. Don't let them have 3 or 4 steps before they put the ball in.
Well, you saw what Curry did.
Yeah, Curry did.
What about
He did the step back.
What about Durant that made 3 steps out of bounds?
And his giant size 34 foot
and
was
they called
clearly
him-
out of
yeah.
bounds.
And they said he was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. Make the calls. Do the thing right.
You're right.
Also, Hunter, speaking of, you talk about you breaking news. Terry, Larry Dowdy, that was a guy that I know you liked, the lineman from South Point. He decommitted from Georgia Tech.
Now what does he say?
All he said, he said
And I don't blame him
He
for
said
not
Georgia
going
Tech's
now.
new coaching staff just hasn't even talked to him at all.
Well, I do not blame him.
No, I wouldn't either.
And
Well,
I
they
agree
should- that-
with
that's what they
every
should
kid
do.
having that opportunity. If your coach leaves and that's where you are going, you have every opportunity to change and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, but my whole thing is, why do you not say anything to the kid?
That's what I'm saying. He is your offensive lineman. He's going to protect.
And
the
yeah,
quarterback you're gonna have.
I understand that like he's coming from South Point, triple option. He would have been going to a triple option attack at Georgia Tech.
You think they would have kept the triple option with a new coach?
I don't know. But at the same time, it's not like he's. You think of a South Point lineman, you think of a kid who's like 6'1" or 6 foot to 6'2" and probably 220, 230. He's 6'5", 6'6", probably 270, 280. That's a lineman anywhere. Why do you not? My whole thing, like I say, why do you not talk to him? Why do you not feel him out? Maybe you can use him. You've already got a commitment from him. Maybe you can sort of sway him, say, hey, I realize we're changing styles, but you can stay here. You've got size, you've got ability.
At worst, he can run block.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
All right, we got to go, guys. I think I've got it queued up, but we're going to play part of that national anthem from the crowd last night here at Burns High School that chipped in. Now, I didn't mention, Hunter, I told y'all I was going to mention something at the end of the game. We had an inadvertent horn last night at Burns. And
Lawndale, what a place.
Inadvertent horn. And they had to write the technical foul down in the book as for the inadvertent horn under Tom Centofanti.
Tom. Tom! No!
Tom got a technical foul last night.
Tom got teed up!
For the inadvertent horn. He about got a travel called on a player because nobody knew what was going on, and everybody kind of looked at each other. Kobe Pacehour picked the ball up, took like 7 steps. It was like the Russell Westbrook play where he walked in and took like 8 steps. But here's the national anthem from Burns as we take it out of here. I think I got it queued up. Let's see if it works. Everybody have a good weekend. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. NFL playoff. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark. I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Go with Terry Clark, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a